properly graded field is not only important for player safety but also the field's health, and no company in the state matches the exceptional service and dedication like our friends at Athletic Field Service of Arkansas in Sherwood. From servicing all types of natural grass athletic fields that includes aerating, top dressing, and phrase mowing to a variety of residential projects, Jeremy Rice and his crew have you covered. They also offer an extensive list of infield renovation services. Call Jeremy at 501-416-1218. That's 501-416-1218 for your free evaluation, and check them out on Facebook or see what they have to offer online by visiting afsofar.com. Athletic Field Service of Arkansas, we got the dirt on your infield.
It's not just a house, it's a home, and it's part of the neighborhood and of course part of the community, and you want to build stuff that they'll take pride in.
Well, that's where they're making their memories.
Yeah, that's right.
That's where they're raising their families.
Without the bank getting us to that next step, we can't do it.
It's nice to be able to call someone at the bank and say, hey, you've worked with us for all these years. This is what we're thinking about doing. Can we pull the trigger on this today? Oh, my stars. It is just so much easier to bank with First Community.
I started Arkansas Prep Sports in 2015. Saw a little niche where, there were student athletes in the state of Arkansas that needed to get that promotion to try to get to the next level. In fall of 2017, I had someone by the name of Kevin Miller just reach out to me out of the blue. We instantly hit it off. Kevin had just started his sports media company, BM Sports Report. The BM stands for Big Miller. If people didn't realize that, that's the reason that we call the Big Miller Media Days. This was Kevin's idea. Kevin saw what other states were doing in the high school sports world with media days. It was just an extra opportunity to promote teams, coaches, and players in front of a statewide audience. Kevin and I hit off right off the bat. We spoke on the phone at the beginning in the first few years, a few times a week. Then it was every day. Then sometimes multiple times a day. As a matter of fact, when my phone would ring, my wife would say, "There's your boyfriend calling you." Kevin and I went on multiple road trips. We ate at Popeye's Chicken all the time. I missed those road trips with Kevin when I would look over and he'd be asleep about 30 minutes into the trip and snoring, and missed those greatly. A lot of the ideas that we do in the high school sports world were Kevin's ideas. A lot of people have kind of started to mimic a lot of the things that we do. Kevin was the reason that I was able to meet and work with a lot of people in the high school sports world, such as Nigel Wright from COE Films and Nick Winger and Kyle Sutherland and people at Natural State Sports, amongst lots of other people that I've met. Kevin wanted his sole purpose. He just wanted to promote Arkansas high school sports athletes. We all miss him. He left a huge hole in the high school sports media world that we are all trying to fill. And it takes a lot of us to fill one role by one man. And Kevin wasn't just one man. Kevin had a great family that he left behind. His wife, he has a son and a daughter. We in the high school sports media world started a trust fund for his family. I would invite anyone at any time to drop by any First Community Bank and donate any amount of money, whether that's $1 or $50, to the BM Family Trust. And Kevin's wife hasn't used that money yet, but her goal is to use that money to help send her kids to college. I miss talking to Kevin. We all miss talking to Kevin. If you knew Kevin, he made you feel like you were his best friend, when in reality, he had 20 or 30 best friends across the state. I miss talking to him on a daily basis. Things will happen in the sports world, and I will still almost grab my phone so I can call him and talk to him. He took on my daughter Sophia during her basketball days. He called her his niece. He came to her AAU tournaments. He came to her high school games. He promoted her. He called schools trying to get her college offers. We all miss him greatly. He was a great friend. He was part of the family. And as everything we try to do now, these media days, which were his idea, we do them to honor and in memory of Kevin. So welcome to the Big Miller Arkansas High School Media Days. We're going to have one day of girls volleyball, followed by 3 days of high school football. We hope you enjoy them as much as we enjoy putting them on. Thank you.
Welcome into day 4, the final day of 2025 Big Miller Fall Media Days. We're so excited to be back at beautiful First Community Bank here in Little Rock. We have a slate of 25 teams today. So far, we have highlighted 81 total, 31 on Monday for volleyball, and then the past 2 days, 50. So really excited to have another great slate today. Hot Springs Lakeside just walked in, and they'll take the podium here in just a second. First, I want to give another shout out to First Community Bank for all the hospitality that they've given us, not just this week, but throughout these media days that we've done over the past few years for whichever sport it may be, always making the players and coaches feeling welcome. That's the whole goal here when they come. Also, Athletic Field Service of Arkansas, who has been a continued sponsor of this event, Arkansas Select Volleyball, Matt Black, Allstate Insurance, American Pie Pizza, Fearless Friday, as well as Chick-fil-A. Thank you for them for providing lunch on Monday. Also, the Arkansas Democrat-Gazette, who have provided great coverage to help get the message out here. We've had a lot of news teams as well come out that have also helped get the message, so we really appreciate that more than anything. And then last but not least, you that are watching, and of course the players and coaches that have given us this support and made us continue, or helped us to continue this going. You know, we weren't really sure how it would go last year. We felt like it would be pretty successful. Turns out that, you know, it was kind of beyond past what we thought it might be. So that is a credit to you watching as well as the players and teams that continuously make the trip up here. So would not be here without you. We appreciate everybody statewide. So we will get Hot Springs Lakeside up here in just a couple of seconds to really get things rolling for the day. All right, at the podium is the Hot Springs Lakeside Rams, led by head coach Garrett Rockwell. And Coach, I will go ahead and pass it over to you to give your opening statement and introduce who you brought with you.
Hey, thanks for having us tonight. Excuse me, not tonight. Definitely in the morning. They'll let you know I'm still asleep. But no, I am Garrett Rockwell, the head coach of the Lakeside Rams, and we are definitely happy to be here on this good Thursday morning. So we'll start over here to my right, your left. We have Tucker Young. All right, he's our left tackle, 3-year starter, and he's a Arkansas commit. We have right here the Luke Robleski. He's a both sides of the ball kind of guy, so he plays receiver and also plays safety for us. And he just got a big offer from Arkansas Tech yesterday. So, but I don't know if he's committed yet. But he's got a couple of offers, and he's also a 2-year, 3-year starter. Right here we have Joshua Rainey. He is our inside backer, 2-year letterman. He's also our chaplain on the team. He prays for us every day and keeps the faith in us all the time. But really hard working inside backer in our 3-4 defense. And then if you don't know this guy, you need to get to know him and hear the name. But this is one of the best quarterbacks in the state of Arkansas right now, and this is Wally Walcott. 2-year starter, leader on the team. Of course, he's got the best position in football, being a quarterback. That's what everybody dreams of. But definitely glad that I got him. He's the 4th leading passer in the state last year, and we're expecting big things out of him. So, and like I said, I'm Garrett Rockwell, head coach here. Had a good season last year. Finished at 10-3. and we're just excited about the new season coming up.
Your first year in 2023 opened a lot of eyes. It's certainly an understatement to say that. You came into last year. I don't know if maybe to the outside world you guys had state championship expectations last year, but certainly maybe that sleeper role had probably the best season in 50 years. I guess if somewhere around 50 years, and now people are talking state championship a lot more this year. So, kind of talk about how you guys channel those expectations.
Every year, and I've been at Lakeside for 11 years, in different spots, but we don't talk about championships. We talk about the next day getting up and going to practice. And if you keep doing that, good things that happen. Last year was a good season, but no, we didn't think we were going to win 10 games and go to the semis, And I try not to look too far down the road. The only thing that I look at is we had to come up here at 9 o'clock this morning, but the rest of the team is at workouts at 7 a.m. So each day at Lakeside, the thing that we believe in is you come to work every day and good things are going to happen.
Wally, we've been asking a lot of the quarterbacks, especially that have started coming into their second year as a starter, just how things have slowed down for them and really things that they've grasped from the offense. But, you kind of just picked right back up where Jacob had left off previously. You just, you led the offense really well. I know you do have plenty of things to work on just like anybody would. But what were some things, just since you are coming off of a great season, and as Coach said, you're one of the better quarterbacks in 5A, what were some things that you felt like you needed to work on?
I think every quarterback, can work on their feet, their footwork. It's one of my things. Get my footwork better. The arm follows that. And then just being I'd say I'm a good teammate, but just like a better leader to the youngsters coming in and just like stepping up to that senior role.
And we'll start with you, Tucker, and then we'll get some input from the players. All of you guys saw the position that this program was in. When Coach Rock took over, obviously was an assistant. What has this meant for you guys to win 18 games over the past 2 years and really get this program being talked about as one of the best in 5A?
I think it shows about how hard our workers we have and what good coaches we have, and I think that they just teach us really good in the weight room and show us how to be really good teammates and appreciate each other, and I think we all work good together.
Yeah, it's been big. As soon as Rock took over the head coach, you could see the complete flip in the culture. It used to be I felt like these were my teammates, but now everybody's like my brother now. And the culture just completely changed, and instead of focusing on ourselves, it's more a team-focused thing, and we're all pushing ourselves to be the best.
I feel like everybody bought into Coach Rock and like what his mentality was and how he was as a coach and how he brought us in as a brotherhood and how he can mentor us just to be great and work every single day.
How all these other dudes are saying, instead of just a coach, he's like a mentor. It's not just football. We can talk to him talking about life in general. Any questions we have, he's there to help us and answer.
Hey, Coach, when Wally wasn't throwing it all over the place last year, you had Grady Oman that was running over people, making all. I think in the media we said, "Oh man," with multiple headlines, just with all the things that he did. He's graduated. I know his brother is one that'll be in the backfield for you. Talk about that rotation that you've got.
Yeah, and that's probably the big question everybody wants to know in 5A is the running back position here at Lakeside, and we want to know too. So, we got a couple of good backs back there right now. Of course, Grady Oman was our back last year. He's signed with Hendricks and getting ready to go there. I expect big things out of him there, and Hendricks does too. His brother, Pete Oman, had a really good summer. He's also a baseball player, so we got him late after baseball season. Our baseball team did really well in the spring. But he just picked up, man. He's a complete back. He can pass block. He can catch the ball out the backfield. And we're talking about Pete Oman. We ain't talking about Grady, so I got to make that distinction. But they're built about the same, except Pete's just a little bit shorter. Then you also have Tremendous Kane, who, when he was a little boy in life, was one of the better linemen, but he grew like 5-6 inches. He's like 6'2" now, and he's going to be one of our running backs. So those two guys, man, we're really looking at the carry the load back there in place of Grady, but that's definitely the question on my mind and everybody else.
I know Coach Reynolds has done a really good job with your defense, and you added a pretty good piece on the defensive line, too, that had, in my opinion, maybe a top 5 unit overall at Arkadelphia last year, and Coach Evans. And so just talk about what he brings to the table, what he's added to your defense, and really just how that side of the ball is done.
Coach Evans, I've been knowing him since my GA days at Arkansas Tech. He was a student coach, and I was a GA, so we worked together on the bottom of the totem pole a lot. So, but it was good times. I got to know his work ethic and what he's about and what Coach Evans is about. One, winning championships and making D linemen, sending them to college. But two, man, he's a relationship builder, loves kids. Of course, he has a knowledge of experience from coaching high school and college. And so I'm glad he's here, man. And then, me and Coach Reynolds, we hooked up when I first got the job here, but we're just gonna keep adding on to that 3-4 defense attack style, and both of those guys bring a lot of experience at upper levels of Arkansas football. Because I've only been at Lakeside, my whole career, but they've been multiple places and won multiple championships. So he just adds on to a really good staff.
I know the audience has heard this a lot over the past few days about just how deep this conference is or that conference is. We know how loaded the 5A South is. I mean, literally not a week off throughout the year. But
right.
Of course, you got Lake Hamilton, a 6A school that you guys play every year. Sheridan is going to be. We saw Coach Kelly in a suit yesterday. That's never happened. So we know he's real serious about this year.
Yes.
And then Joe T. Robinson, another state title contender coming into the season in Class 5A. So. But you guys are going to, especially by conference season, you're going to kind of know where you're going to be at.
Oh yeah, and you go through those first 3 non-conference games. First 2 are 6A, and then we go to the Central and play Robinson, who is 5A. And then when you get down to conference, man, we call it the Bloody Alley for years. Since if you can get out of the Bloody Alley or the Bloody Triangle with Camden, Magnolia, and Texarkana, you're doing pretty good. So those guys are always good. And then you go down to the bottom half of it. We still got to play Hot Springs before the last week, before the end of the season, man. So, our schedule from the beginning is pressure, and at the end is pressure all the way through. So we accept the challenge, man. 5A South is tough. It's a tough conference right now. A lot of great mix of coaches too, young and old. That's mixing it up and trying to get young men to be men through the game of football.
Tucker, how much pride do you and the other offensive linemen take? There's been a lot of points and a lot of yards put up from Lakeside skill players over the past couple of years. How much pride do you guys take in blocking for the running backs and giving Wally time?
We have a lot of pride, I'll say that for sure. But we also have really good running backs that know how to hit the hole. And I know whenever we do our job, they'll do their job too. So it just works out perfect. So we have a lot of pride, and I know the running backs have a lot of pride too.
We'll wrap things up here for the players. Is there, you guys, as Coach said, 110 games, so took care of business for the most part overall, but is there that 1 or 2 that kind of got away from you that you're ready to get a chance at this year?
Probably Parkview. I think this year just the team came together even more, and I think we have a better shot at them, and it'll be a fun one.
I also agree with Wally. I feel like Parkview was a good game. I feel like defensively we didn't play our best, but we're going to come back and bounce back and be great again.
Yeah, I think our defense has improved tremendously this year. So, Parkview, but I think we're on a mission to win it all too.
We're focused on that state championship, so that's all I'm worried about.
All right, fellas, that'll wrap things up. Really appreciate you coming up.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, we're back with Coach Jonathan Bates and the Jessieville Lions. Coach, first year at Jessieville as head coach, obviously been there as defensive coordinator. Just give us a brief rundown of last year, kind of what your expectations of the guys, not necessarily a record, but what your expectations of the guys being a head coach are now. And then if you don't mind, introduce who you brought.
First off, last year we were replacing quite a bit that had graduated the year before. Defensively, we had 2 inside linebackers that had graduated that were 3-year starters for us. So we had to take some guys, kind of shuffle them around right off the bat. And defensively, we base out of 3-4, but we want to be multiple. At the same time, we want to try to dictate what everybody does. This being my first year, we want to continue to build on top of that, what Coach Burke had established his previous years there. So I was raised in Jessieville, graduated there. So wearing the blue and white means a lot to me, and it does to a lot of these guys here that are up front with me. We have Elijah Butler to my far left. We have Levi Anderson, Jacob Graves, and then Gunnar Ellison. Elijah's an O-line, D-lineman. Levi's a running back and a linebacker. Jacob's quarterback and a D-back. And then we have Gunnar that's a offensive lineman and a linebacker. So with all that being said, we just want to continue to build off what Coach Burke had established, and then before him, what Coach Phillips had established and taught us as we were coming up through playing football for him.
And speaking of that, you just said it, what Coach Phillips taught you when you were coming up. I think Thomas Thrash reported that you actually were one of the first teams that, or maybe the first team that made the playoffs at Jessieville.
Yes,
is that right?
Yes, sir, we were. Football season '99 was the first year that we had made it. We had some teams before us that had a better record, but back then they only took the top 2 teams in the conference. So then my senior year was the first year that we had made it in football as well in baseball too.
And you're building off of a successful season last year.
Yes, sir, very successful.
9 wins, went to the playoffs. What did you guys work on in the off season, to take it to that next level? As you as a coach know, winning a lot of times is mindset. But how do you get that mindset in your guys to say, hey, look, yeah, we've been there, but let's not just go there. Let's take it to the next level.
Yes, sir. So one of the things that had been taught to us in the past through Coach Phillips and then Coach Burke, he had the same philosophy. We don't want to rebuild. We want to reload. And we graduated a large senior class last year. I think it was 14 seniors, and majority of those either started or got significant playing time. And the one thing that we want to build on is just continue to reload. We want to develop depth. We want that next guy up mentality from year to year. And all of these guys have embraced it. They've embraced the weight room. I've always been the strength conditioning coach, but we have a new guy that's came in and is now the strength conditioning coach. He's a 22-year Marine veteran. So these guys here have kind of had to, learn a different way. It's still been intense, but we wanted to bring that Marine military mindset also along with us.
And I'm going to expand on what you said about losing a large senior class, losing a lot of leaders, but I want to hear from your guys here. We can start right down here. Just talk to us about the roles that you have embraced in the off season, leadership roles, not only as an individual on a team, but even in your individual position groups.
I'd say a big one would just mainly be leadership, because all the seniors that left last year, they played a big role in leading the team, and I'd say like a good way, like through the season. They led us really in like the mindset throughout the games, and really just getting us prepared throughout the week, like looking forward to that next game and just building us and getting us ready through the week.
Yeah, I'd say the same. My role is definitely, I got to fill some big shoes with Dalton gone. So, yeah, mine is probably bringing the team together like Dalton did. He really brought the team together, made us a whole. And, you're not playing for yourself, you're playing for a brotherhood, and that's what we are as a brotherhood. And we go into games thinking, one team, one fight. That's one thing we always say. And, yeah, that's what I got.
Yeah, and I think, like, a lot for us is we need to show others and, like, the lines below us, we need to show them how to be intense, know how to do, when to do it, and the right steps, right form, and everything. So I think that's what it is.
Yes, sir. I think my role as a leader has significantly increased as I'm going into my senior year, and it's also increased on the offensive line as I've been a 3-year starter since my sophomore season. And we have multiple players on the team that can be and will be future leaders, as Coach Bates here is setting good examples of how to be a leader on the football team.
And Coach, you brought your returning quarterback here with you. You're obviously still calling the defensive side
Yes,
of
sir.
the ball. Talk to us about the continuity of the offense. What's around the offense on the coaching side of the ball? Do we still have the same offensive coordinator, play caller, all that? Can you kind of walk us through that?
So Coach Burke, he was our offensive coordinator along as our head coach. Jacob, he played some running back or some quarterback, but he was mainly running back. But if Dalton, he had a dinged up shoulder towards the end of the year, and that's Dalton Ellison, which would be Gunner's older brother. But if he needed a spell or something, then Jacob would come in and play quarterback as well. But he was mainly as a running back right beside Dalton. Coach Burke, he was our head coach, like I said, and our offensive coordinator. One of the things when we were looking at hiring somebody to be an offensive coordinator, we wanted somebody that was at least willing to come in and keep a lot of Coach Burke's same stuff. Even though he's been in the gun, he was still multiple wing T like what we had been brought up and raised doing. But with that being said, last year he kind of expanded a little bit and he started doing some stuff under center and became more of a multiple type offense. But it was still the same plays that he had always ran. Then Levi, he had played running back, so he's used to the same system. Elijah, he's, like I said, 3-year starter. Gunner is a returning starter on the offensive line. So once we started hiring, looking to hire an offensive coordinator, that was one of the things and selling points that we really wanted to hammer home was you're going to be getting a large group of your guys back. And, whenever you're getting that, you really don't want to, I'd rather ask one guy to change than have to ask the whole team to change. And we have hired a new offensive coordinator in Jacob Hink, and he's all about it. That's what he wants to do. He was in my office yesterday for 2 or 3 hours after we got finished in the weight room. And we were just sitting watching film, talking, discussing, looking at things that we want to do. But it's been an easy transition for him and for us as well.
Well, Jacob, like Coach said, you're returning, but you're not the full-time returning quarterback. Talk to us a little bit about that, right? You've got some change. New play caller, going to try to keep the same stuff. But what have you guys been working on in the off season, and how much have you been spending time with your new OC?
I've been spending a lot of time with him actually when we went to 7-on-7. I actually drew up a bunch of plays for him that I remember that we always ran because I'm really good at knowing stuff. I know, like anytime during practice when we're running new stuff, I always imagine a defense standing out there, and I'm imagining it. And one thing he loves about it is he adapts really quick, so it's another good thing about him. So any offense we call, he's all for it, and I'm happy for it. Plus, I like running the ball, and he likes running it too, so it's one of my main things.
Well, you got one running back here, but why don't, both of you guys, you can start, you can chime in, tell us about the rest of the skill position players that we're going to be hearing names on Friday nights.
Another wide receiver that you'll be hearing a bunch, Tristan Reed, he can go. That's a wide receiver that people need to start looking at. Underrated. He likes the go ball. That's one of his favorite routes. I like throwing him go ball. Chemistry's on 100. He always knows when I'm calling. I already know what he's doing. So that's one thing that you'll be hearing, a wide receiver.
Yeah, we got a couple others, Nick Pye and Tristan Rogers. They can fly too, and they can catch the ball. They know how to run a route, and they can get the job done. So,
the same for you linemen on the end here. Tell me a little about the guys that's going to be playing with you in the trenches.
Yes, sir. Me and Gunner naturally coming back is a big help to the offensive line, keeping the experience on the offensive line. And also we're having a returning starter, Ryan Cassim. He was a big role on our offensive line last year. And then a big role to fill, which I'm very confident he will fill very well, is Ethan Meredith, as Luke Graves, our 3-year starting center, has now graduated. And Ethan Meredith is going to fill the role as a center. And same with Lyndon Pilgrim filling the role as a right tackle. But me and Lyndon have really good chemistry as we played side by side, 8th, 9th, and all throughout our football career since I've moved here.
Yeah, I would say especially our center, Luke Graves, he was a 3-year starter. He's graduating. He graduated last year. And Ryan Castle actually played right side last year on the O-line. And Lyndon, he got hurt mid-season, so he unfortunately couldn't carry on last season. So Lyndon, he's playing right tackle, and Ryan, he has moved to left with me. And I believe our chemistry, it's pretty solid. So I believe we'll have a good, solid O-line this year.
And Coach, you're a defensive guy, so why don't you just run us through the guys that you're going to be relying on, and we're going to be hearing from defensive line all the way back out to the secondary.
Yes, sir. So Elijah, he plays all 3 positions on the defensive line. Ryan Castle, he can play all 3 positions. We base out of a 3-4, like I said. We got Caden Lanier that'll be a returning starter. Caden is a 9th grader. He cleaned 260. He had a knee injury last year against Haskell Harmony Grove. We have, oh man, right off the top of my head, I know I'll miss a couple of them, but we've got a lot of guys. That's the one thing that I'm really excited about. You hear all coaches talk about, it starts up front. I don't care if you're playing if you're on offensive line or defensive line. If the defensive lineman can't keep linebackers clean, then I'm going to be jumping up and down as a linebackers coach. Lots of times they're faceless, and it just is the way it is. So we try to throw them a lot of love throughout the week. One of the things that I really want to do with them this year is really get them involved in the community, like have a lineman of the week, take them out. There's a little restaurant right across from the school that everybody loves called The Shack. So, hey, guys, I'm giving y'all a shout out over there. But would really like to kind of get those guys in there get them a meal, however we need to do that. So, yes, sir, we got probably 3 or 4 more guys. Riley Wilson, he's a 10th grader. He's a guy that I'm really looking forward to. He has 31 workouts this summer that he's already gotten in. If I'm there, he's texting, calling, hey, coach, is it open? Another one is Hazen Holloman. Two really big guys. To me, our defensive and offensive line is going to be, as good as we were last year. I think we could be better. In the linebacking corps, we've got quite a few guys that graduated from last year, but I'm really excited with the group that we got. Gunner's going to be moving off the defensive line. He's coming back, play inside linebacker for us. Levi's playing inside linebacker for us. Got another guy that's a junior in Gary Paul Walls. He'll be an outside linebacker, and then you have Ethan Lewis. And both of those guys, Gary and Ethan, are both they're let's run the 3-4. Our guys that are the edge setters. We want to get some guys that's got a little bit of height and can run, and both of those guys do. One of them's probably 6'1", other one's probably 6'2", and both of them are around probably 205 to 210. So I'm really, really excited about that. But to me, the deepest spot on the team is in the secondary. We went 7-on-7 last week again. Had 2 starters out in the secondary. One of them was sick. He had a stomach bug, and the other one was on vacation. Nick's probably 6'1", probably 170, maybe 175, and then Kason Clark, he's probably 6 foot, probably 155, 160. And then we had guys that stepped in last week, and we went undefeated in 7-on-7. So to be able to do that with 2 starters out, and they're would be 2-year starters, really spoke to me at how great of a job had been done with our secondary. Like I said, we base out 3-4, but we're multiple. We want to do our very best to try to dictate what the offense does. Sometimes that's not always the case. Sometimes, every defense has got a hole in it somewhere, and it's the offensive coordinator, the guy that's calling the plays, to be able to exploit that. So yes, sir. I'm going to leave some guys out, but I'm definitely not meaning to. But defensively, I feel could be definitely one of our strengths this year. Last year, I felt like offensively coming back that was our strength, because we had graduated some big-time guys on the defensive side of the ball. But by the end, I felt like defense was probably as strong as our offense. But this year, I feel like this year it could be even stronger.
Well, Coach, we appreciate that. That's going to wrap it up for Jessieville Lions, and good luck to you guys this season.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate First Community Bank. Thank all the sponsors. Appreciate you guys for promoting our kids throughout the state of Arkansas and our Jessieville Lions. Appreciate y'all.
Up next is the North Little Rock Charging Wildcats, led by head coach Brad Bolding. Coach, I will pass it over to you to introduce who you brought with you and give your opening statement.
All right, thanks for having us, guys. We're excited to be here. Down here on the end, I've got Justin Mitchell. I've got Gabriel Shavers. You go by Gabe, though. We've got, help me with the first name.
Centonio
Dicus. All right. And then help me with your Nakai Moten. Their spellings, first name spellings is kind of odd, so I struggle with their pronunciation. But thanks for having us, guys.
Coach, you look really energized. You look excited to be back at North Little Rock. Obviously, you had a phenomenal historic run at Parkview. Just, it goes without saying. I mean, I think you know as well as anybody, there's some an uphill climb with what's gone on, the past few years and everything. But just talk about some of the things that once you got there and the culture you were trying to instill and your message to the guys.
Yeah, culture's a big thing. That's the focus. Since January, I feel like we've almost done a complete 180. It's no knock on anything from the past. We don't really live in the past. We learned from it, and there was a lot that I learned when I got there. So we just have really just tried to focus on ourselves and these seniors and getting them to understand that this is their team and they're leading it. So, they got to be vocal. They got to demonstrate exactly how things are to be done. And, man, these guys have done a tremendous job. I mean, I have been relentless, probably more relentless than any time in 28 years of coaching. And they've bought into it. They've embraced it, which is a very good sign of a team that can surprise some folks this year. I'm not going to sit up here and write checks, and I don't think they are either. But I can tell you that they have worked extremely hard, and I am really pleased that where we are as a program, and this upcoming season, I'm really excited about getting it kicked off.
And to the players, we'll start up down here on the right, just hearing Coach Bolding say these things, and you guys are the team leaders that are going to really kind of try to set the foundation to get North Little Rock back on track. So what does that mean to you?
It means a lot. Being a leader is hard to do, but you're good. My fault. Camera shot. Being a leader is really hard to do with the team that we had last year. Got a lot of upcoming younger men coming up. They want to, come in, think they all this and that, but, being a leader, step up, try to guide them in the right way and all.
Yeah, I'm kind of piggyback on what he said. With us being seniors, we kind of have to be leaders. With the upcoming freshmen, upcoming class, we just have to put on that good image for them.
Yeah, I would most definitely say I'm just going to try my hardest to lead the team as far as I can, and I mean show these younger kids is with the only limited time that we have. We only have one more year, so we have a short amount of time to show these kids that are below us. I mean, all that we can. So that's what we're going to do our hardest. We're going to play our best. We're going to play fast, play physical, and I mean we're going to dominate and lead our team.
So being a leader means a lot to me. Since last year, I wasn't a starter. And I don't know, I feel like Coach Bowden's really gave me a chance to, show what I can do. I'm just trying to lead by example for these other kids so we can just keep getting better.
Yeah. And Coach, looking at your schedule, you're not one to shy away from competition, obviously, but then you look at just playing a really good fellow 7A Rogers team, and then, of course, two great 6A teams out of the East in Benton and Catholic. So you'll kind of know where you're at once you start that brutal 7A Central Conference.
Yeah, that's a great question. I love playing very good teams. As you know, you were there last year and we played Melissa. And you find out a lot about your teams when you play those teams like Bryant, we played last year. So I feel like this schedule that we have is that type of schedule where you go up to Rogers, they've got just about everybody back. I worked up there for 4 years, so I'm very familiar with that area. I want to always keep somebody on our schedule from up there if I can, because you're going to play somebody at some point up there in the playoffs, and so You know, that's something that I've really tried to do, and we're going to keep Rogers for the next cycle, and we're going to keep Benton, and we're going to add Parkview. So I'm really excited about our non-conference schedule this year, and I think that what we'll learn from that as a team will really help us propel us into the conference play this year.
And 7A Central's always been brutal, and even when you were there the first time, and you came from just recently came from what many consider the top conference in 5A in the South. Now you come in, and then now that you are added to it, you've got 5 of the 8 coaches that at least the head coaches that have at least one state championship on their resume. So as we said to all the other 7A Central coaches, I mean, there's just not an off night. No, there's not. And that's, I mean, if you're going to be in the business, man, I'm all about being a part of all that. That's exciting to me. I mean, I think we can feed off each other, and we can learn a lot from each other. And we do. I mean, we team camp with these guys all summer. I mean, we've team camped with Brian, I think, 6 times. Conway and the same. So, I mean, we're real familiar with them. We'll continue to do that. And I've been real pleased with how our kids have responded to team camps all summer. And we've been at our place. We've had 2 or 3. We've gone to Bryant. We've gone to Conway. And that has really been something that, and I've always done it, but that's really been something I think that's kind of helped us and propelled us this year going into the season. And coming in, I know that North Little Rock's got a lot of really good upgrades coming. We'll definitely want to talk about that. Just talk about the new facilities and some things that, some changes that we're going to be seeing. Yeah, we have some announcements that'll happen in the next few weeks that'll raise some eyebrows, I think. I'm really excited about the direction that we're going with the school, and it's ironically that I designed the last facilities and get to come back in and enjoy those and realize the mistakes that I made in some of the stuff that I designed. Like the weight room right above the office. That's when weights are dropping, it sounds like the whole building's collapsing. But so you learn from that. But this building's going to be an 80-yard turf indoor facility. It will be the largest in the state from end to end. We're planning to partner with Baptist Health, and it'll have an ortho clinic in it. So if a kid was to break his leg or something in the middle of the game, they can go right in like they do at the Division I schools and x-ray them. And we're going to have a nutritionist. We're going to have a strength trainer. We're going to have Baptist is supposed to be providing protein and creatine for all of our athletes, girls and boys. So I probably just in football alone spend $10,000 to $12,000 a year on just protein. So that's kind of stuff is huge. And we've already started talking, Fimple and I and Claiborne, about us all working together in off season and pushing sleds. And, they want to do some of the stuff that we're doing. And so I think it would be a huge athletic bonding deal for the whole district when we get to that point, because we're talking about having 40 power racks in this thing. I mean, so you can get hundreds of people workout in there. So we're really, really excited about it. It should encompass from the Exxon all the way past the old jail. Wow, awesome, good stuff. Well, let's get into some of your players here. I think one of the players had mentioned, you got some good young guys that you're going to be really relying on, but who are some names that we really need to watch for on Friday nights from what you've seen so far? Well, I'll just start offensively. I mean, we've got a little battle going on at quarterback. Corey Marshall's going to be a senior, and then Robert Jackson's a sophomore quarterback that came in from Parkview, and we're really excited about that competition. That's really what I try to do as a coach, is create the competition at each position. Running back, I mean, I coach the running backs. I have for a long time, and we have a pretty deep running back room, to say the least. I'll just cover a couple guys here, but Zeke Lewis, returning starter, plays on defense. He's a linebacker, and Jeremiah Buckner will be a sophomore running back. He reminds me a lot of Cameron Settles. And then tight end, big Noah Butler, played on the basketball team. He's 6'7", about 240. We're working on him being a little bit more physical. And then our offensive line, I mean, I think Coach Pitts has done a great job with those guys all summer. And I knew he would. That's why I hired him. But Donovan Tidwell, Achilles Reed, Knox Colley, who's a sophomore, played a lot as a 9th grader last year for them. And then Bradley Hatton, Chris Hatchett, those guys are really good. And defensively, I really think where we are right now on defense is we got to catch up to them on offense. I mean, I've been very, very impressed with our defense, how they fly around the ball. Coach Huell, J.J. Huell, that I got from Sylvan Hills, has done a great job. And so, obviously, Justin Mitchell, Corin Couch, Marcus Haynes, Ontarius Odom's a kid moved here from Tennessee.
You keep an eye on him. They call him OT. He's a physical specimen. About 6'5", about 235. He can run about 4'6". He's a dude. And let's see if I'm missing anybody here. Our defensive backs: Carlos Zamora, Jalen Jones, Austin Burnham, and of course Dykus and Zeke Lewis, who I talked about earlier, running back, and Moten. They all will take care of the linebacker position. So I'm excited about us defensively. Our kicking game is very young but very talented. I'm very excited about our kicker. So that's kind of us in a nutshell.
Nice. Well, we'll finish things up with the players, talking about just some things. Once Coach Bolden came in and kind of saw what he was working with as far as the team and then individuals, what were maybe some things that y'all worked on throughout the offseason to better hone your craft?
That weight room, man. He takes that serious. Like, man, it's been a whole 360 with the weight room. Like, oh my goodness, he like turned it around. Then with the protein, creatine stuff, helped us out. Everybody's getting stronger. It's definitely a big change about him coming back.
Yeah, I mean, with him coming in, being as, 3-time championship coach, it was really kind of a, change for me, myself, not being, because, I never had a coach like that or whatever. So it was kind of, a big turnaround for me and him changing my life around. Because, I did a lot of stuff in the past I should never did when, he came through and helped me out.
Yeah, I mean, instantly when he got here, you could tell it was we had no choice. It was either you can beat the traffic or you can just you can just grow up. And I think that's what a lot of our players did. I mean, you went from having like 60 players on the team to like 115. I mean, you have so many, it's like you don't know what to do with them. And I mean, it was rough the first couple of months because I mean, like you just weren't used to it. You ain't never really had so much like intensity every single day. But I think even the younger guys started growing up, and then we skyrocketed from there. And I mean, yeah, that's just where we're at.
Like Dykus said, as soon as Coach Bolden came in, every day was intense. It was like, like you could feel it. Oh man, conditioning in the weight room. I don't know.
Guys, really appreciate you coming over.
Thanks for having us, guys, at the Community Bank, and this is a beautiful place, man. If you're looking for a bank to bank with, and they're not paying me to say it, these people are super nice in here and have been great to us, and we walked in the door, so thank you, guys.
Appreciate y'all.
Sir.
All right, up next, we've got the CAC Mustangs led by head coach J.D. Plumley. Coach, I will pass it over to you to introduce who you brought with you and give your opening statement.
All right, first I've got senior Damian Wicker, team captain, our horse for us on both sides of the football. Next to him, I've got Andrew Lowe. He'll be a junior outside linebacker, fullback for us on offense. And then I've got Brody Vanterborg, also a junior wide receiver, outside linebacker. We're excited about year 2 for us as our staff and this team. We've had a really good off season, first full off season, and our bodies have changed. When I got to CAC, one thing I realized right off the cuff was weight training was not as important as what I thought it should be. And so I thought in my head we're 2 to 3 years behind physically. And so we've really implemented the 4-day week year round. These guys that are brought with me have really bought in and really led that weight room and led that charge, and it's trickled all the way down to our 7th graders. And so our bodies have changed, and that's exciting to look out there that we've got some guys with some muscles and that they're wanting to be a little bit more physical and kind of headhunt the football. And that's always a fun to watch them grow in that. And, we're going to be a super young team. We've got 9 seniors, about 98% of our production on offense is going to be coming back next year. We're going to have a whole bunch of sophomores on the field mixed in with some juniors, and a couple of seniors will be out there playing. So, we're building this, continue to build this, and get CAC back to where it was and the rich tradition that's there, and that's kind of what we're after. And these guys right here are the driving force behind that.
Your first year was interesting, to say the least. I mean, we'll leave it at your roster looked a lot different on opening day than, when you got there. What were some things that you learned as a coach, just having to adapt to, this new age that we're in?
You coach who's there. You coach who shows up. You coach who's going to be loyal to you, and you get after them. And that's the beauty about these guys. These 3 right here never checked up, never made an excuse, never wanted out of anything. And that's the biggest thing that we're trying to change right now is that, things are going to be tough, life's going to be tough, and, God never told us that it was going to be easy. And he wants us to go through the trials and tribulations, and these guys have proven that. And that's what we learned is, we can't sit there and feel sorry for ourselves, and let's coach who shows up, and let's get whoever comes every day better, and let's go win football games with those guys.
And as far as just the personnel that you have around, you talked about some of the rich tradition. You think about the early 2000s, Hayden Cruz, that's the athletic director now, is on a few of those teams. Chris Morris has been on staff for over 20 years now. So, just those 2 off the top of my head, how valuable is it still having people around that were front? I know that history is history, but as far as just knowing what it was like at that particular time.
Well, I love it. I just love, anytime we get a chance at lunch duty or wherever that they're talking about the glory days of when, when Coach, I eat lunch every day with Hayden, and he gets to talk about when he played and the way it was, and having those guys that are invested, their life invested in CAC, and that's why the community is so awesome to be a part of, and I'm just super blessed to be there going into year 2. Well, they're not just me, with my kids and my wife. My wife coaches on staff now with track and cross country, and it really is a small community, and we love it, and it's something to take pride in. And so these guys up here, they don't want their name recognized. They just want to go out there and represent CAC in the community, and not worried about the name on the back of the jersey.
And to the players, we'll start from the right over here. Just talk about, now that you've been under Coach Plumley for a year, a little over a year now, talk about how the buy-in is going from the players' perspective.
He just proved that you have to buy in to win. Last year wasn't our best year, but this year you can tell we got takes no talent on the back of our shirts. You'll see it everywhere. We're just there to buy in. We're there to work. We don't care if we have talent, if we don't have talent. We're just there to work, be a unit, come together, and just win football games.
The way you have to buy into everything that Coach stands for, not just the practice, but the way you live your life. You have to recover in the way that he wants you to, eat the way he wants you to. Myself, I've gained about 15 pounds since off-season, and it's just because I've been following what Coach and our assistant coaches and strength coaches have been telling us, just not just on the field and in the weight room, but out of it as well. You just have to buy into the whole process.
I think we've really bought into the weight room this year as a whole. Me personally, I was 155, 160 pounds last year. Now I'm up to 185, and that's just not from Coach Plumley, but all our coaches. Everyone's bought in. Takes no talent to work hard every day and be disciplined. and that's what it takes to win.
Coach, you mentioned the youth on your team. I know Jackson was thrusted, kind of just no fault of anybody. I mean, he was the next one up, and you had to play him as a freshman. Talk about his development. I know that, at that particular time, it may not be the most fun of situations, but obviously adversity it makes us so much stronger.
Yes, he grew up. He'd always had to play up. That's the coach's kid. If I'm going to have to throw somebody in there, not sure what's going to happen, the coaches are going to throw their kids in there. And it was really fun to watch him grow and progress over the season. And, what's neat about this is that, going into the season, Cooper Mosley, another sophomore, is going to be our starting quarterback. And so Jackson, my son, can go to outside linebacker. He can play running back, slot receiver, outside receiver. He knows the playbook. And on defense, we're going to rely on him pretty heavy at our rover package and our outside linebackers. So, and then on special teams. So he's going to have a quarterback package as well. But hopefully, Cooper Mosley can step up like we know he can and take over the reins there where Jackson can be more help us out on both sides of the football. But, Jackson did, he was asked to do a lot as a freshman, stepping up and playing quarterback. And we're, I was proud of him. I know, he did the very best he could. He grew up and it's going to help him down the road because he's already had that varsity experience. We played some big time football, Little Rock Mills, and then week 11 getting to go to Warren, and playing on that field. Last time he was at Warren, he was my ball boy in 22 whenever we had to come back and beat Warren in overtime. And so, that was a neat experience, step out there. And it's like, now you're getting to start on this field. And last time you were here, we had a kind of a pretty cool game here in overtime. And so those memories are coming back. And, I'm going to blink and he's going to be walking across the field on senior night. And that's how fast it goes by. So I'm enjoying every moment with him.
Before we continue talking about some of your current players, I think certainly, you got to give a lot of credit to last year's seniors, especially with just how everything unfolded. What can you say about those guys, just the mark that they left on the program for sticking things out?
You're exactly right. That they did. They honored and respected the CAC family and the name on their jersey. And I talked to 2 or 3 of them just yesterday. They still come by when they see me driving down the Maumelle Boulevard. They'll honk and wave. And those guys are always going to be special. I said that last year. I say it every year. When you take a new job, the senior class is always going to be special because you're still getting to know them. They're getting to know you. And those guys bought in, and they played their guts out. And, something I hadn't mentioned yet about CAC is that, over 85% of our student athletes are multiple sport athletes. And that's pretty awesome. We haven't bought into that. Hey, you've got to just play football, you just got to play baseball, you just got to play basketball. We don't have a lot of that at CAC, and that is all 3 of these guys up here are multiple sport guys. And it's so fun to do that. I'm assistant baseball coach along with assistant AD, and it's so fun to just be a part of the athletic community. And so that is something that's really unique going on right now because I know a lot of schools right now are really, really squeezing kids to only play one sport and train that one sport year round, and I want to run away from that and go the opposite direction. I want all of our guys, and I think all of our skill guys are multiple sport athlete guys, and that's just really fun to watch. But I didn't mean to get off topic there. But the seniors from last year, they're phenomenal dudes, and they're going to be highly, highly successful in life because of how they showed and respected the new staff coming in and the CAC community.
And some of your current players now, I know Jackson was one we mentioned, and we've said, it's young players, but let's go into some of the names that we'll be hearing on Friday nights.
We still got, you got Hudson Ritchie, which will be a senior wide receiver. He was his sophomore year, he was a leading receiver, so he's going to be our threat. You've got Jackson Allen. You're going to be tired of hearing his name. He's just going to be a junior. And he's going to be a college-level offensive lineman. Arkansas really is getting on him right now, along with all the other schools in the state. You've got Drew Cawley, which will be another senior offensive lineman. He's going to finally step up and get his time this year as a senior, going both ways for us. You've got Ross Mounts, will be just a junior. He's moving to new positions, linebacker and offensive line. You've got Connor Taylor, which will be just a junior, safety, slot receiver / running back. You've got Hoover Brogdon, which is to be a sophomore, starting for us at receiver and safety. Lucas Beck, wide receiver, safety. And so I could go on and on and on. And unless something changes, there's really only going to be about one senior that really touches the ball for us on offense, and that's going to be Hudson Ritchie. Everybody else is going to be a sophomore or junior. And so we keep building this thing. We're going to continue to lift 4 days a week. We're going to keep building this thing, and we're gonna reap the benefits of it quickly.
Starting the year, you got DeWitt and Stuttgart in non-conference, then you play a Harding Academy matchup. And, I think anybody that's familiar with CAC Harding Academy, a lot of cross relationships there. At CAC, there's a lot of Harding Academy alumnus. I know it's at Harding Academy, it's the same way. So I talk about how important that game is for not just your players, but a lot of the people within the school.
It's pretty neat. I didn't realize that till last year, till almost the game day of how many people were, telling me in the hallways that they graduated from there, or their kids went to Harding. I mean, it was just such a kind of a neat situation that it is, and that we get to go to Harding Academy and play there on their field. And we had a couple of faculty members this year at CAC that left, went to Harding Academy to teach and there. So it's going to be super neat. That's a game that I hope that we can continue to keep on the schedule for years to come. And just because the rivalry and the gates are big, and it's a really, really cool game to have there week 2, then we'll go into a bye. So it's a lot of excitement that week, and it's probably the closest we have right now to a rivalry, because our conference in 4A is always, seems to always be flipping around every 2 years. So we kind of want to circle that one and keep it if we can.
We'll wrap things up with the players here. I know y'all talked about just kind of the culture changes under Coach Plumlee. What are some things that you worked on individually to better your craft throughout the offseason?
I mean, there really wasn't a chance to do anything solo. We're practicing every day. We're in there. I mean, Fridays they're open. On the weekends, Coach Plumlee, he has something organized to where you're throwing and catching. Sunday, Saturday. I mean, there's never really a chance, but when you get the chance, obviously you work. I've been to some camps this summer. Me and Lo have, and it's just you're always working here. So whether you're doing it with Coach Plumlee or without, you're always working. Everyone's always working. It's just because that's what we're built to do. It's all we know.
With me, it's mostly been strength, and also being moved to middle linebacker, going from defensive end. I had to learn to be more vocal and, just communicate with my team and be a leader, because that's really the first time I had to step up to a position like that. So,
I would say just bought into the weight room. Everyone's trying to gain weight. Everyone's trying to put on muscle, speed work. I mean, every weekend for about, I'd say, 4 months, we'd go out on Sunday, practice our routes, practice our catching. I remember even after our Warren game, every day it was throwing and catching. You got to make our hands better. Can't do anything if you don't have a ball in your hands, So, yeah, that.
All right, that'll wrap things up, guys. Really appreciate you.
Thank you.
All right, we're here with Associate Coach Forgo and the Whitehall Bulldogs. Coach, you're the offensive coordinator, associate head coach.
Yes, sir.
Second year. I know you guys came in last year in some really unfortunate circumstances. I'm not going to rehash all the tragedy that community has undergone, but you guys really stepped up and went in that community at a time when they really needed you guys. And I understand that what you guys did was a whole lot more than just putting wins and losses on the football field last year. But with that being said, can you tell us about the optimism that your staff and your players have going into this fall to get Whitehall back to, you know, the winning tradition that they've had over the past several decades?
Yes, sir. And if I could, I'd like to start that off, preface that with Coach Jason Mitchell did a phenomenal job. He was instrumental in bringing that program and those kids back together at a time of loss like that. He's also an associate head coach. Coach Mitchell did a great job of rallying the community and the kids and the program in general. Yes, sir.
And could you introduce the kids you brought with you today?
Yes, sir. First to my right, I have Wyatt Golden. He's a senior. He's our quarterback. I have Jerry Rowe, who is our center, senior offensive lineman. I've got Jaden Gibson, who's also O-line, D-line, plays O-line, D-line for us, and Zane Davis, who is our kicker. Yes, sir.
Well, Wyatt, let's just start with you. You know, you're a senior, returning senior quarterback. A lot rests on your shoulders. That's with all you seniors. You know, just talk to us about the leadership position that you and the rest of your seniors have had to step into over the past, you know, off season, and what you guys have done to prepare for that.
So I really think our seniors have stepped up a lot. Obviously, going into our senior year, we haven't really had that leadership mentality at Whitehall. So really our seniors, we've really worked on having that leader mentality and just knowing that any player on the team can come to us and we can be that leader for them, and just know that on Friday nights they have our back. And so whether that's in the weight room, that's conditioning, that's just life period. Like, we'll go to lunch with some of the guys and just hang out for a little while. But that's really, we just try to grab that bond together this year.
And you're coming back, better continuity, coming back with the same offensive coordinator. But tell us about some of the skill position guys that are going to be around you that you're either going to be throwing to or handing off to.
Yes, sir. We're young in a lot of areas, inexperienced, but we're very happy with the process and where we are. With our younger skill kids, we have some receivers. We had 4 7-on-7 competitions this summer, and we progressively got better every tournament. And to mention some of those names, Dylan Mitchell, going to be a sophomore. Very excited about him. Aiden Bitley is a returning starter in the slot. We have Tyler Blankenship. Is also on the slot, a younger. He'll be a sophomore. Very excited about him. And Kel McIntyre, returning starter. Extremely excited about him. And we've got some other guys, Dre Mixon, Aiden's 8. We've got some pieces, and we feel good and we feel comfortable as far as that part of the skill. The receivers, we have, as far as running back, we have Xavier Wallace, Tyrus Green, Aiden Bitley can also play, Wesley Center. KJ Walker. We have some pieces, maybe not as real experienced, but we're excited where we are and what we have. Yes, sir.
And I'd like to hear from both of you O-line guys. We can start right here. Tell us not only about just what you guys have done in the off season as a position group to bring your guys together, but also the other guys on the line, the names we're going to be hearing on Friday nights.
First, I'll start off with me and my fellow. Well, he's offensive guard, so we have a very tight connection, like on another level. Also, with the other offensive linemen, we've been knowing each other since like we came to 9th grade. We have a very good connection. Jeremiah Foster, he's a tackle. Elijah Yates, he's a guard. Me, I'm a center. He's a guard. Then we have Devin Bishop as well. They all have experience on the O-line, but Foster, he just came into the O-line maybe like a year ago. He's new, but he's good. So I feel like we all have a close bond, so it just make it makes it way more easy to work together, call out things. We can be vocal. None of us are afraid to speak to each other. So it just makes a better connection overall. So I feel like that's the thing that brings the whole offensive line together and make us like very good this year, because we know going into the season what we want and what we want to do, and we all want to accomplish that goal together. So just make it all as easy.
Yeah, so I think everybody on the O-line is like, we play as a unit, and I think that helps us a lot. Everybody's leaders, and we're all working as one to get the same goal, and we're not just, individuals. And I think that's a big part of our game.
And Coach, tell us a little bit about defensive side of the ball. You can start the defensive line and go all the way back to the secondary, but tell us, names that we're going to hear on a Friday night.
Yes, sir. Jeremy Drumgoole is a returning starter at defensive end. Devin Bishop has been playing defensive end as well. Turntine and Columbus Turntine and Braylon Gaston are some gentlemen that have been playing on the D-line for us. Done a great job. We've got some younger kids that provide some depth for us that are also contributing. The linebacker core, Jaden Gorman, Tyrus Green. Tyrus is a returning starter. Wesley Center, Tyler Blankenship, Aiden Bitely, Kel McIntyre are some kids in that front seven in the box, some box players. On the back end, we've got some new guys, new faces, maybe not played a lot of snaps. Bobby Foster at corner, Ed Ho-Ho, Colin Craig at safety, Ivan Moore, KJ Walker. We're a little young on the back end, but these guys, we attended 4 different 7-on-7 tournaments, and we've progressively gotten better in that process with those reps, and we're really excited about the future. Yes, sir, where we're going.
And Zane, I hear you're 100% from PAT.
Yes, sir.
Right around 70% from field goals. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Do you ever tell Wyatt over here to maybe calm down the red zone so you can get a little more opportunities to kick?
I wouldn't say so, but for us to get the point to win, what needs to be taken is really what happens. So whatever benefits the team really is what needs to go. So, but sometimes I wish I could, but it's what benefits the team the most, so it kind of puts it on both of us.
Well, tell us a little bit about your, snapper, holder, and the rest of the special teams guys.
We have a good special teams, snap and holder. We have Tyler.
I'll be the holder this year.
Holder's pretty good. He good holds and stuff. Now for special teams, we have our special teams really good. We'll have a Tyrus Green, a returner for that, but we really have a good special teams for it. We get to the ball, get quick, make sure to get the ball back for a kickoff, or get to the ball to tackle. Field goals, I would say their block help me get the time to be able to kick. So we do a pretty good job on that.
I kind of want to hear from all 4 of the guys for this question, and Coach, you can follow up after they've finished. We've addressed this over the past few days several times. There's certain communities in this state that are just special, right? Whether that's Clinton or Heber Springs or Sheridan or whatever. Whitehall is also one of those special communities, especially given what all you guys have been through the past several years. But I want to hear from each one of you guys about what it feels like to go out on a Friday night and have the whole community, wrap their arms around you and support you and show up.
So honestly, through all the deaths in the past and things like that, our community adapts pretty well. So new coaches bring them in with open arms every time. They do well, coming out in the stand, supporting us every single week. I'll make sure to see maybe 5 faces, and I see them every single game. It never fails, and they always come with open arms and a smile on their face at the end of the game, win or loss. So we always do good in that area. Like they adapt very well to our situations and make sure we're always good at the end of the week and like every day.
I'll say most of the time, like obviously, yes, we've been through a lot of tragedy, but the good thing is our community has really stepped up behind us and like helped us through our grieving processes and the next season going on. Obviously, this last year we lost Coach Matt Williams, our basketball coach, and just the connection that we had in the community to like come together and celebrate his life was just amazing. So I feel like we have a great community. When it comes to like stuff like that, it happened when Coach Mallett died and when multiple of our coaches left to go to other schools. We're a close community and like we all love each other. Everybody's known, and just I think that's just the best thing about us is our community.
Yeah, so our community is very, very tight-knit, and I think that's a massive part of our game. And as well, like anybody in the school or just people that live in Whitehall, and our coaches are huge on that too. They really practice, the one heartbeat, Coach Forga and stuff like that. So I think that's a very, very big part of how we, the mental aspect of the game. So, yeah.
Our community has shown us out and has helped us throughout everything that has happened to us in the past couple of years. And they've always shown an open arms and open everything to help us through everything, whatever has happened. And they've just been there for everything, going to football games, basketball games, for any sport that has had anything happen to them or anything. They have always shown up and shown out for them, and they've always been there. So our community is great. They've helped us through everything.
Right before we close it up, Wyatt, we're talking about special teams. You've averaged like 40 yards a punt or something like that throughout your career, right? Yeah, because
Yes,
I
sir.
thought I remember you being on one of my underclassmen. Yeah, so talk about that. You're obviously, been the quarterback the past couple of years, but it's not very common that we have two specialists here. So talk about that aspect of the game. And I think that third phase kind of gets forgotten sometimes.
So I'll go in to say that we have a really good special teams unit between me and Zane. Obviously, we've known each other since elementary school, and we've gotten pretty close over the last few years. And I'd say, obviously, I want him to get those field goals and those extra points, but at the end of the day, also, I got to do what I got to do. So, obviously, punting, it's not my, focus, but, obviously, I do whatever it takes for the team.
Guys, that'll wrap things up. Really appreciate you coming.
Appreciate y'all having us.
Thank you.
I guess.
All right, we're back with Coach Hancock and the DeWitt Dragons. Coach, first year at DeWitt.
Yes,
You're
sir.
pretty successful at Mineral Springs, right?
Yes, sir.
Taking over a pretty successful program. It's been over the past several years. Are we going to see any differences in offenses or defensive schemes?
Yes, sir. There'll be some differences. First off, Coach Cody did a great job coming in and establishing a program. It really allowed me to come in March and not have to start at ground zero like I had to at the previous 2 stops, and that's been great. The kids already had a attitude to go to work and a hard-nosed mentality. Expectations were already there, having won so many games the last 3 seasons. So that's been great, but we are going to change some schemes. We're still going to pride ourselves on running the football. DeWitt has to be a physical smash mouth team, and we're going to be that. That fits my personality. And we're going to do some adjusts on the defense. Probably be a little bit more of a even front this year than previous years. They've been more of an odd front.
And why don't you introduce the guys you brought along with you?
Absolutely. So we have 4 seniors here today. We have returning all-conference and all-state running back Corey Graham. We have a returning all-conference, was wide receiver last year, converted to running back this year in my scheme. This is Travis London. We have returning all-state and all-conference offensive lineman Judd Qualls and returning all-conference linebacker Lane Lay.
Well, Coach, let's just start right off the bat where it starts on the offensive line. You're returning an all-state offensive lineman.
Yes, sir.
Going to be blocking for, sounds like, a couple of really good running backs right here. Talk about him and talk about the other guys on the offensive line.
Yes, sir. So Judd is a coach's kid. He's a coach's family. His older brother is the offense coordinator at UAM. His other brother, middle brother, is the offense coordinator for Warren now. He bailed on us and went to Warren, but and late father was a coach there at DeWitt as also. So Judd not only brings some obvious size and physicality to our line, but he brings a lot of knowledge. He brings understanding of all the schemes, and defensive schemes can help communicate that across the front, so that's a very valuable trait. And then our line across the board is going to be very senior heavy. We've got a couple juniors that will see time, but we've got 3 returning senior linemen. And then Lane actually was the H-back last year, but in my system, he's going to move up and he's going to be one of our tackles, and we'll use him to pull and be mobile. So the line is pretty solid right now. It's pretty senior heavy. And then, like you said, our running backs, everybody wants to brag. I think that we have the best running back in the state in 4A. I think we have one of the best backs in the state, no matter the classification, and we've seen that through our summer camps. Corey's done a great job, very physical. One of the strongest kids I've coached. 280-pound power clean kid at 170 pounds is pretty good. And then Travis was a running back in junior high. This senior class in the 9th grade went undefeated in the conference, and so we have some potential there. And Travis was a running back in those days, has been a receiver, been the leading receiver for them the last couple seasons, and now he will be a running back. In my systems, I'm a 2-back kind of guy. He'll move. Both of those guys will get out and spread out at times in different formations and play receiver, but mainly running back. And we've had a really successful summer to the install. We've got maybe, 40% of the offense maybe installed, and through spring and these early team camps has looked pretty well.
Well, Corey, Travis, I'd love to hear from both of you guys. Corey, we can start with you.
Yes, sir.
A couple of back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons, probably staring another one down, down the barrel. But what's it like, just, both of you guys, what's it like to have the feeling of you got a new coach coming in, but he's like, yep, not taking the ball out of your hands. As a matter of fact, might put the ball in both your guys' hands even more, and you're running behind such a great, experienced offensive line.
And it's like we just got to do whatever we can to win, and just got to keep going.
Yes, sir. I would say it's amazing. Like, he came in the first day, he just changed the culture, just telling us about leadership, and we know we capable of, like the people we got, the line. Our chemistry is just on 1,000 from us playing together through 2nd grade all the way up to now, so we won't really have to worry much about that.
Travis, I was just curious kind of what an offseason looks like moving to running back. I imagine, the team works out on its own. Everybody's doing basically the same thing, but what are some of the individual stuff that you've done to kind of, get ready to play season at running back instead of receiver?
Yes, sir. Just really just working. I had some experience in my 9th grade year when we went undefeated. And it just always been, touching the ball all my life, just being around the ball, just moving around. And, it was never really a problem, just going hard really. And he made it clear that I was going to get some touches this year. And the first day he came in, we knew, this is going to be special.
And Coach, on top of some of the players that you've already talked about, I know you got some additions that came over that had been on the basketball team, or I guess are still on the basketball team, that you expect to really help you guys out a lot this fall.
Yes, sir. That's one of the things that we want to have a balanced approach. Everybody that we play is already going to understand that Corey's, a target because he's had 2 great years. Anytime that you've made All-State your sophomore and junior year, you've kind of got a target on your back. So the additional guys that came on and the move, like Travis moving to the backfield, is going to help keep us balanced and keep people where they can't just key on one person. We've picked up Zay Cox, who's playing some quarterback for us right now, could also play receiver. Picked up 3 receivers that have been making some big plays for us. We just had one that made social media 2 days ago, a really impressive one-handed catch on the goal line. Marshawn Bowers, Ray Fry, and Landon Graham, Corey's little brother, have all came in and earned a starting spot at the receivers and have done a great job through camp. I'd like to see, not knocking basketball guys, but there's kind of a cliche with sometimes you get guys that didn't play football and they only played basketball and they might be a little soft, not as physical. These guys have came in and they've shattered that. They've been physical, attacking the ball, making plays on defense as well in the secondary. So we like that addition. We've got some other guys that are also running the ball. Our last year, the 9th grade quarterback, Caden Golden, who's 6'3", 230, is going to kind of transition, play some H-back tight end for me, and can run the ball also in a fullback spot. We have Mitchell is our linebacker. He's our leader on linebacker. He is doing a great job at playing some fullback and running back for us. Has had some big runs this summer. We've got a sophomore, Kane Fisher, pound for pound, one of the strongest kids on the team as a sophomore even, and he's starting to see and understand, get his feet wet in the high school level, but he can do some things for us. So we have a lot of other weapons too that are starting to develop and come on, some of those younger guys. But I think that the difference is going to be we're going to run the football, I always have, but now we're going to spread the ball out a little bit more. Mike Leach always said, balance isn't just 50% run, 50% pass. It's if you've got 6 skill players, we want all 6 skill players touching the ball equal amounts.
Lane, similar question over here to Travis. You obviously, if you're playing H-back tight end, you got to be physical anyway. But it sounds like you've really embraced that physicality of moving from H-back to a true lineman position.
Yes, sir. The main thing about moving from such a skill position to lineman position is about being physical, and it's about trusting the guy next to you. This is the guy that's next to me. He's always going to be next to me, and I'm always going to trust in him. So I got a lot of trust in my teammates, and I got a lot.
I think it says a lot about these guys changing positions, even as seniors, and they've been successful, but they were willing to change positions because they feel like that's what's going to be best for the team. Corey understands that, hey, I may have been the guy getting every touch. Now my touches may go down, but the quality of my touches will go up when I'm not the only one we're having to count on. And so the selfless, like he said, the chemistry, Travis mentioned the chemistry earlier, that's been a really pleasant surprise that these guys are just selfless. They just want to win. They don't care who gets the ball and how they get it, what position they have to play. They just want to go score, and they want to go win games.
And before we close you guys out, Coach, can you briefly run us through the defensive kids on the ball that we're going to hear on Friday nights?
Absolutely. So we're a small school still. I mean, I know we're 4A. We're one of the smallest 4As in the state, so we play both ways a lot. Most of these guys here will see both ways. Returning linebacker, Lane also was a returning linebacker last season. So Mitchell is a returning linebacker for us, all conference. Corey plays some outside linebacker and defensive end, extremely quick off the edge. Travis playing some free safety for us. And then Judd, we try not to play our offensive linemen as much both ways if we can. If we can sub people, that's where we try to get rest. But he's been, him and Carson Riggin, Dalton Gladwell come in on the goal line situations and short yardage. A junior that's been really impressive so far since I've been there is Jack Noble, one of our stronger guys. A little undersized. If you look at him, you know, he's maybe 5'8", 190 pounds, but he is strong and he's quick and he's aggressive. He's done a great job on the D-line for us. In our secondary, like I said, bringing in, you have a returning all-conference player in Terrell. Terrell's been playing corner, doing a great job. Nobody throws at him. They just kind of understand Terrell Dell is the real deal out there at corner. The basketball guys that came in with Cox and Marshawn and Landon, and Ray, they have come in and solidified. We've had several picks in team camps. And then Caden Pippinger, who's also in the battle for our starting quarterback spot with Zay Cox. Both of those guys, I mean, it would be a coin flip if we had to choose today who's going to start. They're both playing on defense. And I don't like playing my quarterbacks both ways, but right now it's hard to decide which side of the ball they're more valuable on. And Caden's playing outside linebacker for us and has made some really impressive plays also. So we're still trying to find a few guys to give us some depth on the D-line. And, you know, we have some younger guys we're trying to get some looks in there. But overall, our defense has been very fast and physical.
All right, Coach, we appreciate you guys. Good luck to DeWitt this season, all right?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, we've got the Lake Hamilton Wolves. They're led by head coach Tommy Giller. And, Coach, I will throw it over to you to introduce who you brought with you and give your opening statement.
Yeah, okay. From my left to right, you got Cannon Crooks. I guess right to left from y'all. Cannon Crooks, he's our starting center. He's actually a two-year starter, starting his third year. He started as a sophomore. David Dalton, same thing. David Dalton is a sophomore and he's a senior, but he's started since he's a sophomore too, and he's played O-line and D-line. Hudson Davenport is our quarterback, and he's to my right here. And Carson Jackson, who's our running back, defensive back, he started at both of those last year too. So we got some guys that are returning that are really good seniors that have had pretty good careers so far, and hopefully they're going to carry it on this year, which I think we will.
I'm curious to know, with Hudson coming in at quarter, because I guess Landon graduated last year, and then Hudson coming in, without giving away too much of your game plan, I know you've kind of historically been more of running offense, and then you've opened it up a little bit more. Is that kind of what we're going to see is a little bit more dual action?
Yeah, I think so. And, part of that is, the skill kids we have this year are a little smaller. I don't have that big bruising fullback like I've had in the past, and so the kids that we have are a lot more slight and a little bit faster, and have a really good O-line. So we're going to try to mix it up where we can throw it in, run it, and do some stuff in the gun where we're traditionally under center and do some stuff. So we're kind of mixing it up a little more just because of the skill kids we have. So we have some smaller ones that are fast, and so we're going to put those kids in space.
Before we talk a little bit more about the other players that aren't here today, Hudson, I'll go ahead and just get your take on how everything's been going with the offense, and then if you can just talk about some things that you've, one or two things that you've worked on through the off season to better your craft, and then I'll get also from your teammates.
Oh yeah, definitely what I work on is my footwork, and because as a quarterback you have to have good footwork, and then my reads too, not guessing where the ball, where it's going to be open, just reading it, hitting it there fast. So. Yeah, we're ready for the season too.
What's some stuff you've kind of worked on just to kind of, just whether it be at quarterback or, weight room, anything like that?
My biggest thing I worked on too is stepping up and be a leader, because I've been behind two quarterbacks all my high school, sophomore year and junior year. So now it's my turn to go, and it's kind of hard to get into that leader role, and that's what I've been learning to do, step up.
He's also on Sundays, he's been coming up to Little Rock. Working with the quarterback coach up here in Little Rock. Okay. And so I think that's really helped him progress as a quarterback. Just somebody else individually working with him other than me or somebody else on our staff getting on him and having an opportunity to really strengthen his arm and do some things with his eyes and vision and stuff. And so I think part of that, he hasn't mentioned that, I guess he forgot, but he's been doing that for the last probably 4 or 5 months, coming up here and working. I don't know, I don't need the guy's name, is it?
He played at UCA. He was a quarterback last year at UCA.
Yeah. So Will, he's been coming up here working with Will.
Okay.
And so I think a lot of quarterbacks are. And so I think that's helped his development. In fact, this year we won our 7-on-7 for the first time since I've been there. So and Hudson was the quarterback for us during all that. And so it's pretty exciting for him to win it. And especially since we're run oriented so much to win a passing contest.
Yeah, definitely. And to the other guys, what are some things that y'all have worked on?
I would say adjusting to being a leader now that we're seniors. As a sophomore and junior, I would let the people above me lead really and just kind of follow along with them. But, now that I'm a senior, I'm learning to lead the ones behind me and, kind of show them the ropes of football, I guess. So.
I would say just stepping up, being a leader and all that, because we had good leadership before us this year, and then we turned things around, and just taking the sophomores and juniors and just show them how we do it here, and just have a great year this year.
My favorite thing is the team bonding experiences. We try to get out and go eat after practice every morning. Try to get a whole bunch of guys to go with us. We'll give all the younger kids rides so everybody's involved. We go to Coach Daff's house and swim. Just things to bond as a team. So when it comes time to play on the field, that we're bonding as a team on the field as well.
And Coach, talking about some of your other players, you go back to the last time you were in the state championship in 2020. You had 2 stud backs. Then it was Justin Crutchmer. Then it was Hayden Barton. Who's going to be maybe that lead back, but also just some of the other skill players that we'll be hearing about?
Yeah, Carson's one of them. He's had a good summer. In fact, I don't know how many touchdowns he had in 7-on-7, but he had tremendous a lot. He's a very targeted kid. He's very skillful and he's explosive off the ball, and so he finds a way to get open too. He kind of understands the game of football more than other kids. He's been doing that since he's been playing. He don't just keep running a route and get behind somebody. He'll sit and find a hole just so he can get open and stuff. We have a sophomore, J.J. Johnson, who's really come on, one of our faster kids, and him and Carson both, they're right around a 4.5 range, and so they can actually get up and go, and they've been really helping us out. And some of the other kids, Jordan Amos has come on this summer, and he's played more defense, but he can play running back. Sumner Young played wing back for us last year. He's doing that this year. We have a great offensive line. Of course, these two are part of it that are back, and Eli Williams is one of those. He started last year at the end of the year. He's kind of helped us carry on. Zayd Cox is a tight end we have that can play defensive line. In fact, we have 4 or 5 big tight ends this year, and you may see more tight end sets where with the smaller backs where we can line up and mash people, but just do it from the gun, but because we can move these kids around and do great things with them. and different kind of sets and stuff, but using our strength to us. And part of it is we got a good senior class with a lot of good linemen. And so we're definitely going to take advantage of that. And we hadn't had that since I've been here as much. And then even the defensive line for the first time, we're not starting sophomores on the defensive line. We're starting juniors and seniors. In the prior years, we've done that a lot. Well, these guys have kind of grown up to it, and so now we have some depth there, and we're excited about that for sure. The skill kids are coming along, and we're feeling really good about kind of where we're going this year.
And us, you guys just being on the line, there's been a lot of Lake Hamilton offensive linemen going to play college ball, and this is a wing. I've talked about how fun the wing tee offense is for years. So I know you guys do throw it around a little bit as well, but talk about just mashing people in front of you.
Oh, I love it. I love they know we're running the ball and we're going to run it right at them, and they can't stop it. Huh?
That's right. They love the buck sweep. They always yell at me, say, "Hey, run the buck sweep," and so. That's a little calling card. Of course, we like trapping people. And I'll say this, too. Probably one of the defining moments last year is when we were playing Shiloh Christian, a team that ended up in the finals, and going up to their field on senior night and just mashing them in the face. And part of that was our kids believe in what we do and what they're doing. And because you're playing a really good football team, because they're really good because they made it to the finals. We felt like that was a defining moment for us last year, that we weren't intimidated, went on, took care of it. And then, of course, defensively, we did some good things. But that carried on for the rest of the year. And then, ran into a really good Benton team, in the quarters. And they played really well, and we made some mistakes. But hopefully we can overturn that this year. I think we got some more depth there, and line-wise and skill-wise, I think it will be a little better off.
Speaking of playing Shiloh Christian, I mean, I know as competitors, it doesn't really matter where the game is played or anything, but you guys got some long road trips. I mean, you're either going to go to Shiloh, you're going to go now with the addition of them moving to 6A last year, you're going to go to Siloam, you're going to go to Mountain Home. What are some things that you've done? And I know you're used to it, but through the years, what are some things that you've kind of maybe done differently just to make sure you're acclimated for those road trips?
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, part of it is, we try to make a day of it. Try to leave a little earlier than normal, stop, get out, and actually have a practice so they don't just get off the bus and play. And so we'll stop, have a practice, have a walkthrough, and then we'll go eat, and then we'll actually do another walkthrough for the game, and then we'll get there. Part of that is just kind of so they don't drive 4 hours and then get off the bus and play. So we try to break it up. We'll go to about Fort Smith and then break up and have a little practice, and then drive their other 2 hours and get to wherever we're going and then get off and walk again. But you have to do that in this conference because, 3 of the games are almost 4 hours. And so when you drive that far for a conference game, it's pretty hard. And so luckily this year we only have one real long one, which is Mountain Home, which is there's no easy way to get there. And so our kids will be excited about going back up there, but it's so curvy. And so, there's no easy way to get up to Mountain Home. And so that's definitely an advantage for Coach Airy.
And opening up, I know that the Lakeside game's a big game for you guys. I'm just being completely honest. I mean, a couple of years ago, you guys were just you overmatched them, and so it really just wasn't a competition. Now it is. Coach Rock and his staff, we had them earlier, they've done a great job. So how big is that for the community? And I'll actually kind of make this a two-parter. I asked Coach Burnett at Hot Springs yesterday, you guys really, up to 5 years ago, were really kind of and you still are a great program, but the premier program in the Hot Springs area. Now, yeah. Hot Springs has shown improvement through the years. Lakeside, Bismarck was in the 3A game.
Yeah.
So kind of talk about that game with Lakeside in particular, but just the excitement for football in the Garland County, Hot Springs area.
Yeah, it's definitely gotten better in our area. And so, a lot of that is they, especially for Lakeside, they've got a really good bunch of good skill kids. Of course, they got a Division I lineman. So, overall, they've done a better job of their strength and conditioning. And then also just, the amount of talent they have is a lot more because, they got to the semifinals last year of state. And so, it takes a little bit to do that in 5A. And so, they're really good, and we're excited about what they're doing. But, that game is huge for this community. Just because we're just 10 miles apart and the kids know each other and the community knows each other, there's a lot more excitement for it because they have beaten us the last couple of years. And so now everybody, the expectation is it's going to be a really good game. And last year we were up at halftime and it just didn't finish like we needed to. This year we don't plan on that happening. We plan on coming out there and trying to finish the game. But they do a good job. Coach Rock does a good job. Their staff does a good job. Their defense coordinator really does a good job of trying to force you to do different things. And so if we're not ready, we're not going to be ready. But we got to always focus on those type of things. And then Coach Burnett, he's finally getting a chance to develop his kids and do things, and I think his time's coming. We've been doing stuff with Coach this summer, Coach Burnett, and he's got some really good skill kids. I don't know about his linemen, but we've been doing some 7-on-7 with him, and he has a really good quarterback, and then he has a couple of good skill kids that can flat fly. And so, yeah, he's done a really good job there.
You've also got 7A, Little Rock Southwest on your non-conference schedule, and then I think you guys have played Arkadelphia for really, quite a while now. Obviously, no ordinary 4A team. They are the defending 4A champions, but I think anybody who really paid attention to football last year, that was probably a top 5 defensive front in the entire state, especially towards the end of the season. So how good of a look is that for you guys before you get into conference play?
Yeah, no doubt. Coach, coach at Arkadelphia and Coach Southwest, they got some speed. They're starting to figure stuff out there in Little Rock Southwest. And then, Coach at Arkadelphia, they do a great job every year. And last year, like you said, they had 4 really good defensive linemen. And so every game, that kept them in games. I know that on the way to their championship, those front 4 they had, it was hard to block them. But I thought our kids really stood up that game. In fact, at one time, we were 3 scores up against Arkadelphia, and I go, all we got to do is score one more time, and this, we got this game going. And we got a safety. And from that point on, it was a dogfight to the end of the game. And that's the resilience that Arkadelphia has. And so, but I'm glad our kids finished that game and didn't give up and fought through it and understand that, every game is critical to just getting better for the conference games. And so I know our kids have been doing that.
All right, guys, that'll wrap things up. Really appreciate you coming.
Thanks. Thank you all.
All right, we're back with Coach Lewis and the Little Rock Southwest Griffins. Coach Lewis, good news is you guys made the playoffs for the first time ever in school history.
Yes, sir.
Bad news is you're still in probably the toughest football conference in the entire state.
It's a challenge we welcome, though.
Absolutely. But talk to us about literally that week-to-week grind. You have no off weeks whatsoever.
We like I said, we take everything one week at a time. We don't look ahead to anybody. We go out there, we put who we got on the schedule, and we go out there every week with the mindset of we're gonna go out here and compete and give it our best. And we look to win. We don't look to lose. Last year we had some games that we were in. The record doesn't look like it, but we had some times that we had some leads that we lost. So now we're just learning how to finish from week to week. So those are some things that we're adding into our game plan and adding into our practice is how to finish a ball game.
You said it best. So as you know, as a coach, a lot of winning is just the mindset.
Yes.
You've got to know that you're a winner.
Yes.
So what did you guys do in the offseason to try to instill that mindset of, hey, we don't want to just be in these games. We want to win these games.
Well, we kind of have always had that mindset, even before the off season. But the first thing is we take it hard in the weight room, and all of these young men can attest that taking it hard in the weight room and you see the improvements and the gain that you make, and so that's where it starts at. And then and every day it's a conversation. Hey, this is our mindset, how we run it. We're gonna walk into every single field, no matter where we are. We can go to New Orleans right now and play New Orleans Saints. Yes, they're gonna be better than us, but at the mindset of us is we're gonna go out here and we're gonna compete, and that's what we practice and preach every single day.
Well, why don't you introduce the 4 guys that you brought along with you and tell us a little bit about each one.
Okay, I brought my 4 seniors here. Charles Oliver the fourth, linebacker, inside linebacker, going to play a little running back for us as well. 3.0 student, Dylan Wynn, center for the captain of our offensive line, get everybody lined up. 4.0 student right here, strongest man on our team as well. TJ Smith, I call him Terry sometimes, but he's a wide receiver. He transferred in last year. Another smart kid, 3.2 student on our football team. And then we have Matthew Young, one of the captains of our defense, plays outside linebacker, strong safety, another 3.5 student. So, these are the guys that I brought with me that, number one, they're seniors, they're the leaders of our team, and they do things the right way every single day.
Well, since it all starts on the front, Dylan, why don't you tell us a little bit about not only coming into a senior leader role on the offensive line and what you guys do as a position unit, but the other guys who are going to be surrounding you on that line.
So our offensive line, our whole offensive line is coming back for their senior year. We got Cornelius Manning. He's one of the best players we got on the offensive line. Same thing with Dwayne Phillips and Jonathan Espana. We're learning the basics. We're learning everything that we can. We got a new offensive line coach, Coach Hasher, and he's been great to us, and we're ready to work.
And Coach, why don't you tell us a little bit about all the guys on the defensive side of the ball and what names we're going to be hearing on Friday nights?
You're going to be hearing Charles Oliver, inside linebacker, making a lot of tackles from sideline to sideline. You're going to be hearing Matt, making some tackles and making some plays on the defensive ball in the secondary and on the second level as well at outside linebacker. You're going to hear Trayshawn Nelson at some point this season making some plays on the ball. He's one of those kids that we say, see ball, go get ball. That's what kind of player he is. On the D line, we have German Paradis. He's going to be he's a late bloomer. Played some O-line before, but we moved into D line. That's a name you need to watch out for. All our D linemen wrestle. Our defensive coordinator, Coach Sessions, is the head wrestling coach, so the whole defensive line is a wrestler. So they are used to that physical comeback of one-on-one competition every single day. I mean, in wrestling, you're tackling 80 times. So you're going to hear those are those top guys, Jarrell Ware, Mario Maxwell. Those are some sophomore, soon-to-be junior guys that are going to be playing in the secondary that are going to be making some plays as well for us. So we lost a lot on defense, but we got some guys. Once we get this puzzle fitted correctly, I think we can be able to make some noise on defense as well.
And to the fellas, there's a reason why your coach brought each of the 4 of you guys up here to represent your school and to speak. I think probably a lot of it has to do with just your senior leadership. So, we start right down here, but why don't each one of you guys tell us how you've embraced that role, not only individually, but as your position in your position group?
What I do every day is I come with an attitude to do better, and I feel like since I'm older and a lot of people look up to me, it's my job.
I come with the attitude that I want to win. So every day I'm always pushing my position group, whether it be with the running backs or the receivers, or matter of fact, the offense in general. I always come out, I want to win. I will never slack. I don't let none of my teammates slack, and I push everybody.
I go by hard work. Since I've been here since my freshman year, I've never been looked at as a kid that's all talented and everything. And since I get this leadership role, I always tell them day one or one day, because you can either put that work in right now, or you can step aside and just look bad.
I come with hard work and dedication because I may be the littlest, but I will be hitting stuff and all that.
Yeah, I can tell that when your coach said you're going to be making tackles sideline to sideline. Again, to all four players, and then Coach, after they're finished, I'd kind of like to hear a little follow-up from you, and we can start down here this time. Tell us a little bit about the pride of just playing for, you know, this newer high school and representing all of Southwest Little Rock.
It's great. People may be looking down on us, but as a school get better and better each day.
For me, I love the competition. We play the toughest conference in Arkansas, and to us, it's like we're the underdogs, and we're ready to fight, ready to get through that.
Like what my fellow teammates said, we are the underdog, and I love that. I love being an underdog. I know this might only be my second season, but I genuinely do want the best for not only this program, but this school as well.
I feel like it's a blessing to be in such a luxurious school, and since we just got placed in here, we are going to be the underdogs. So, like what they said, and it's just prove people wrong. I like that.
You got to like hearing your fellas' comments, right? That they're embracing that underdog role and they take pride in that school.
And that's the mindset I have. You know, like I was telling a couple kids earlier today, I didn't have the opportunity to play college ball, didn't play in the NFL, but I was a guy that worked hard as a assistant freshman coach, moved all the way up, and you know, I coming from Louisiana and only my second year in the state of Arkansas, was able to get another head coaching job. You know, so I've always been an underdog in my mindset. You know, so I embrace that role, and they embrace that role too. You know, and we want to make people understand that hey, no matter when you walk, they may not look like the team that they should be, but they're gonna be into a fight every time they run into the field.
And to wrap it up, Coach, any names on the offensive side of the ball that you haven't mentioned yet that we will hear on Friday nights?
One of them is sophomore Tyler Jackson. He's a running back / receiver. He's going to be a special young man, especially once he gets, keep getting in that weight room, get to the academics and stuff like that. That's going to be the kid to hear about in the future. Mario Maxwell, another kid that'll be playing some O-line. Playing some wide receiver for it. He's playing DB for it. But he's going to be another name. And then also Marcellus Siggers. And along with these two young men, and then Cornelius Manning also on the offensive line.
Coach, you heard one of your players say that, you guys play in the top conference in the state. I think that's pretty hard to argue. And then you think about, I've been picking the brains of all the 7A Central coaches. You already had, the depth that you have and the coaching that you have, but then you add Brad Boulding back to North Little Rock, and you've got 5 coaches that have at least one state championship on their resume. So it just continues to get deeper.
Yeah, it does, and I like that. I like being in the presence of guys that, have done it and done well. Because my goal is to get us to that point as well. I tell them all the time, we may not get there, but my goal is always going to be December the 6th at 6:30 p.m. at War Memorial Stadium. That's my goal. And if I walked on in that locker room and not had that goal, I'm doing them a disservice. So that's always my goal, and we're going to work hard to try to get to that point. Yes, like you said, we're in a tough conference, but we embrace it. God give his biggest battles to some of his best people. So hopefully we're some of his best people to go take on some of those battles.
Hey guys, from left to right, Coach, you included, what's a time or what's a jersey that you remember wearing that kind of started your love for the game of football? Whether it's Pee Wee, NFL jersey, a college jersey, what was that one jersey that you put on that really made you feel like, this is my path?
52 because Ray Lewis, he was a hitter, and I wanted to follow his, be like him.
Mine is the number 57. Former player was Chris Sanders. He used to be here, and he used to teach me the ways of football, and I will live up to his jersey and his name.
For me, that love of football really came from a coach, and that was Coach Eddie Robinson. Growing up in Louisiana, North Louisiana, I followed Grambling a lot, and just if I could be 25, 50% of what he was, I'm doing something special as a football coach.
For me, it was number 7 from LSU, Leonard Fournette, and along with Tyrann Mathieu and Tyrann Mathieu. So yeah, I always used to watch LSU when I was younger, and I used to just want to go to LSU, wear that number 7, show out, and be a playmaker.
For mine, it will be Jalen Ramsey. I just feel like he's a dog, and I really look up to him.
All right, guys, that'll wrap things up. Really appreciate you coming.
Thank y'all.
Up next is the Conway Wampascats, led by head coach Buck James. And, Coach, I will go ahead and toss it over to you for your opening statement and introduce who you brought with you.
Well, I appreciate y'all having this. Is a great thing for the kids. It's been exciting watching it on social media all week and, highlighting the sports and the kids. And today I brought our running back, Trey Harris. Been a 3-year starter for us. So he's done great things for our program. And Wesley Tapp, who started 5 ball games for us last year at quarterback, and Joe Washington. Joe's one of these guys that God gifted his body really good. He's a 6'5", 260-pound guy, and didn't really play it down as a sophomore, and then came around last year and did a really good job for us, and is going to be a really great player for us. And then Julian Jones is a D tackle, and he's going to be a 3-year starter. Has played a lot of downs for us. He eats up a lot of space in the inside, and so these guys are not only good players, they're good kids. They're hard workers. They're good leaders, and it's been a fun group to coach. They're terrible with directions. They let me go to Pine Bluff instead of make the Chenal exit. But other than that, we've had a good trip, and we really do appreciate you guys having us up here.
Well, Coach Conway, so I think this was it 5 years in a row you've gone to the semifinals. Made a lot of deep runs there, and I understand you're focused on the now, but you look at your time at Bryant. Year 3 was when you really saw the difference and everything of your culture and everything that happened. So, what are your thoughts coming into year 3 at Conway and just the continued development of your team?
Our culture is better. It's a lot better, and culture doesn't just start in high school. We have to start in the 7th grade, has to start in the community, has to start at your houses and where our kids live and stuff. And, we're a lot better. We're a lot stronger. We're a lot tougher. And, our kids are buying into our program. You just got to have the right pieces. And our kids have worked tirelessly to try to get to this point. And, I think I've been in the state semifinals, I think, the last 10 or 11 years. And it comes down to a play. And, it's like I told a group yesterday. I mean, the higher you climb a tree, the more you expose your rear end. And we've got to make a play. We've got to win a series. We've got to go out there and do the things it takes to get to the next level. And our kids understand that. Our coaches understand that. And we are really on the right path. Hopefully it comes together for us. But a lot of it depends on, how healthy we stay, how our defense grows. We lost really 8 starters on defense side of the ball last year. And offensively, we've got to score a lot of points. And if we can do those things, we got a chance to have a good football team.
And Trey, we'll start with you here at the end. I was just kind of basically just ask you guys what I had asked Coach James about just now that you're 2 years in, going into year 3 under him. You understand what the expectations are. You know, he puts a massive emphasis on the weight room and, just physicality, those type of things. So just talk about how things have gone for you guys and your continued progression.
We work every day, and we know what to expect when we come in. They only give us 2 hours, so, we make what we can do. But, we went from, I think, like 3 people, and counting Juju, squatting over 400. Now we got over 80% of the team over squatting over 400. So, Juju, I think he squat like 600 himself. Joe, half of the D-line squat like 600. I squat 585. All the running backs are over 400. So, it's just we know what to expect when we come in there, and we work hard every day. And, we do the best we can do, and we just work hard as a team and trying to build.
I say we come in there, compete every day to the best of our ability, and then, just the intentions with each decision we make. That's big for our culture and then for our team as well. I think we come in there and do our job to the best of our ability, and I think that's really going to help us out this year. And hopefully we'll get over that semifinals like you were talking about. I think a lot of players have walked into the, it sucks going to the semifinals 5 years. Like, if we can break that, I think that'd be a really good opportunity for our program and all these kids.
The expectation is getting 1% better every day, and as long as you build a culture between the young guys, like building up with the old guys, I feel like it makes us way better, and it actually feels way better that our young guys are buying in more than we did when we were younger, honestly. And yeah, we're really strong actually, more stronger than the past few years.
I think that we are going to do really good this year because everybody has had a big improvement with skills and strength levels, and I just feel like we get better every day. We're gonna pass the hell of the semifinals.
Wesley, I saw you the summer before last in a little 7-on-7, but the first time I got to see you live was when you stepped into Grayson's shoes at Pulaski Academy. You made some big throws, and you guys came away with a big win. But tell us about kind of a twofold question here. First, learning under Grayson, not just making the throws on the field, but those leadership qualities as well. And now that you are 100% of the guy, how you're stepping into that role?
Yeah, so Grayson coming in last year, it was actually like a huge blessing in disguise. He's 4-star Arkansas commit coming in. A lot of guys would probably transfer out, probably especially in today's day and age. But I decided to stick it out and run with my guys because I love these guys so much. Love playing with them each and every day. But yeah, Grayson came in, and during the summer, we just went back and forth. There really wasn't a guaranteed start for either one of us, and we went with that and ran with it, and just competed every day. And throughout the season, he encouraged me, I encouraged him. That's a friendship that's going to last a lifetime, and I really am grateful for that. And, now that he's gone, he's really past that. And then even Donovan, before Grayson, he's really instilled, what it means to be a Conway Wampascat quarterback. So I think both of them have really showed me and led me to be a better quarterback, just competing with them every day. So now I'm just, going out, competing, and then with the younger guys especially, letting them learn and helping them out.
And continuing on just what you have to work with on offense, Wesley, you're an Arkansas State commit protecting you. You got an Arkansas State commit that you'll be throwing to. You got Trey back there that's got offers. Kamarian, I mean, they can play running back slot. So you see the smile on your face there. You're excited about that.
Yes, sir. I'm very excited. You know, offensive line, we got really, really good offensive line. I'm really blessed with that. I can't even name the amount of receivers we have coming back. You know, a lot of guys that are going to be stepping up this year. And then our backfield is one of the best in the state, if not the best, with Trey and Amari. So that's going to be huge. But, you know, offensive line, those are my guys. You know, they deserve the biggest shout-out because they don't get any praise. But I'm really looking forward to it, really looking forward to bonding with the guys more and looking forward to the season.
And Coach, your players have kind of talked about some of the things that y'all have done in the weight room, and I know that's when you first took the job, you know, that was one of the things that you had told me was that you got to get a lot better at. Just from your perspective, how has that come around after 2 years?
Well, it's daylight and dark difference from our strength part of it. You know, it's just we've got to be better at football. You know, and at some point you got to be where you're supposed to be. You got to be, your feet got to be where your eyes are. Your eyes got to be where your feet are doing. And there's things that we got to improve. But, you know, I wanted to really touch base, you know, and this is probably not said enough because, you know, kids nowadays are willing to transfer just because they don't think they're going to get a scholarship because where they go to school or whatever. And this guy's had to sit here behind two really great quarterbacks. And, you know, he was going to be the starter last year until Grayson came in, and he could have left. And there was a lot of people calling him, wanting him to go. And, you know, my hat's off to Wes and what he, you know, has gone through because he had to wait. But then he came in and was a big part of our offense. And, you know, and then he gets to be the guy this year. But, you know, I think we sit here all over state and we just try to find out who's leaving because somebody else is there or they want to go play with somebody else. And it's refreshing to have a young man that's like Wes Tapp that will, you know, took the hard road. And, you know, hopefully, you know, our kids will play hard for him, offensively and defensively, and give him a chance to be successful. And I think that should be, you know, talked about more than about kids that are just leaving and going wherever they want to go and do whatever they want to do because they don't like the way it's going for them. And this is a testament to a guy that believes in his team and his community. At some point, it's got to be really important to be a Wampascat or a Cardinal or a Hornet or a Blue Jay or whatever. It's got to be important to do that in the same way it does to be a Razorback. So, you know, loyalty is hard to find nowadays, and what Wes has done, I think, is ought to be a testament to all the young kids in the state of Arkansas.
I don't mean to keep harping on it, but Wesley, that is a really, it's obviously a popular topic right now, but it's also really important because there's a lot of kids that go through it each year. One more thing on that, what piece of advice would you give to somebody that's going? Because look, I mean, like you said, it's not easy when a big time quarterback comes in like that. When you think that you're about to be the guy, and you said it, I like what you said, a blessing in disguise. Yep. So what is a piece of advice that you could give to somebody?
You know, I would say the biggest thing is like God has plans for you. You know, He really showed me the way to go, and I think transferring, you know, it might be the best thing for you, but ultimately what led me was just praying every day and letting God have the will, and then let the rest do itself. That's really all I got for all the young kids out there.
Hey guys, so from left to right, coach included, what is a jersey that you remember wearing that kind of started your love for the game of football, whether it be college, NFL, Pee Wee, doesn't matter? What was that one jersey that you put on, that you remember putting on, that said, you know, where you said, you know, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life?
I think for me it started in Mayflower, Arkansas. When I first started playing, I was 5 years old, and I wore the number 5 from my cousin. And I think that's where it started for me, where I knew I wanted to play. I looked up to him. He had passed away, and I had looked up to him, and that's when I first started playing football. So I think mine started in Mayflower, Arkansas.
For me, it was putting on Vikings jersey in flag football, number 9, just going out there. I think it was first grade, so I was about 6 or 7 years old. And then just going out there, won the flag football tournament, so that was pretty awesome. But that's where it really started for me.
My football journey started in 6th grade for the Pittsburgh Steelers. It was an Optimus football team. I wore number 8, and it really started my whole defensive journey because I was going to play center, but I wanted to play defense also, so that's where I started to play defense at, and it means a lot to me.
For me, I think it started in 4th grade, going to the Titans. We were just playing in the park at one point, and then the coach came over and asked if we wanted to give the sport a try. So I gave it a try and really loved it.
Well, Pee Wee football, it sparked the love. I was a Blue Jay. I mentioned Blue Jays a while ago, but I was a Blue Jay, and it was, just being able to play. I've been in football since the 2nd grade. This is my 39th year of coaching, and Van and I went back a long time together. But I've been in football since I was 8 years old, and I missed one football season in 61 years of living, and it's a blessing just to be around the kids, the camaraderie, the coaches. I probably coach more now because of kids and coaches than I do, the love of the game. It's just it's the camaraderie and the fellowship that you have in the game of football it's a blessing. And it's everybody wants to put wins and losses as a priority, but really it's about the fellowship and the memories and the camaraderie that you have as a ball coach or a player that makes this game so special.
All right, fellas, that'll wrap things up. Really appreciate you coming.
Thank you.
Thanks. Up next, we've got the Cross County Thunderbirds led by head coach Van Pascal. Coach, I'll pass it over to you to give your opening statement and introduce who you brought with you.
All right. Thank you guys for having us. I've got Caden Crawford. He'll be a junior this year, running back, linebacker. Braxton Armstrong, running back safety. He'll be a senior for us. Davion Simmons, fullback linebacker, will be a senior for us. And Sawyer Powell is a linebacker, tight end / fullback. And here we are.
Coach, so not to age you too much, I know Coach James just talked about this is his 39th year of coaching. What is this for you? I know y'all are around the same.
41.
41. So
Yeah.
you're past the 4-decade mark, 2nd year at Cross County. I know you had come in, from Heber Springs, and we're trying to set a culture last year. Just talk about how that went through the first season, made a playoff run, and how things went through the off season.
Every place is different, and every time schedule is different, and things you did in one place, not necessarily can you do in the next place. Probably going in week 4 against McCroy, I could see that Flexbone was not going to be successful with the clientele that we had. And so I went to my superintendent and just said, hey, I know that I sold you on some stuff, but I think that I've got a better fit. I said I'd never run this offense again. I ran it in 02 in DeQueen, but we didn't have very big linemen there. So we have big linemen across county. We had them big kids last year. And so we switched gears going into week 5 of the season, foot-to-foot double wing offensively, and started playing with it, I guess is a good way to say it. And it's a good fit for us. I think it'll be a good fit this year. The kids believe in it. It's just old-fashioned, here we come, and let's go get it. Defensively, we're working hard on the defensive side as we speak now, just to, they know that I'm going to tell them defense wins championships. You got to be able to kick the football and then you play some offense after that. So that's kind of my belief system. But the kids have bought in, got a good coaching staff, did a very good job in the weight room this year, saw some differences, and I think we're on the right track. No excuses. You got to line up and play every day with what you got.
And we'll start with the players here from the right over here. Obviously, that change in schematics really paid off because you guys won 5 of your last 6 regular season games. Just talk about, kind of what the mindset was whenever Coach Pascal and the staff told y'all that y'all were going to be making that change.
So I'll say that we really had to really lock in on it. We had to change our system around. We had to do different stuff, different alignments, different stances, and we had a bunch of different assignments when we put this offense in. It was difficult from the start. I'm not gonna lie, cause I kind of struggled with it myself. But we got it down, and it really did pay off. Cause offense had over 300 rushing yards a game. We were dominating, and I'm just grateful we put that offense in, honestly.
So I think that our assignments it was really hard for learning at the first, but we had great coaches to help us, and I really don't.
To me, about the new formation that we go through was pretty simple because all I have to do is run through somebody's face and block, and that was pretty simple to me, and I enjoy it.
Going through the offseason that last year and just constantly running the flex bone, it was hard for us to adjust to the double wing, but, really it was just attention to detail and giving it 100% through practice every day, even if we were doing the wrong thing. And I think it was really just the coaches, Coach Pascal, Coach Hill, that really showed us every step that we needed to take in this offense. That way we could run it to our best potential.
Coach, the 2A2 has been maybe the deepest of the 4 conferences in Class 2A the last few years. Between you guys and Mark Tree and Desark, EPC's been in the state title game a few times in recent years. What's that slate like? You guys come out of that with a winning record last year is got to be pretty impressive, pretty encouraging for you going into year 2, bringing most of that team back.
Well, when I got the job, Superintendent, Dr. Nathan Morris told me, he said, Coach, it's a tough league. And, honestly, I didn't really believe him at the moment, but after going through it, he didn't lie. It's a tough league. It's a physical league. It's those guys have a lot of talent. They've got good coaches and they've got good players. So, it's pretty brutal, to be honest with you. It's exciting. I think that's I've always been the guy that let's get their best, and if we can wade through their best, then good things are fixing to happen. So, kids know it. We don't back away. We don't shy away. We don't make promises, but we're trying to instill the attitude of mental toughness, and no one. You may get us once, but you're not going to get us after that.
And I was going to talk to you about the 2 boulders that you have there in the middle defensively. I know that they're going to play some offensive line for you as well. Of course, Danny Bill, Oklahoma State commit, and Rod Williams. Just talk about how they anchor there in the middle. Obviously 2 massive bodies, 2 great football players, but how they really get things started for you on defense.
Well, they've got a lot of God-given tools that a lot of people don't have. The things that we're working with those 2 guys on is to play low center of gravity. Win the line of scrimmage. Don't take plays off. Commit to the whistle blows. I mean, it's the same thing for every kid on the team. There's no difference just because those guys have gotten what they've got. It's still fundamentals, basic stuff. Are we glad we got them? Yes. Do we have that high expectation for them? Yes, we do. But they're no different than these 4 guys up here as far as learning a system, doing the basic things, and embracing what comes their way as far as a work ethic. That's what we're selling. We got to outwork everybody.
Now, forgive me if I might have missed you said it now, and without giving too much away, will we see more double wing this year, or you kind of just that's probably where you're going to just keep it at, just since that's what they know by now?
Yeah. Now we're double wing. Okay. I'm sure everybody's thinking he'll go back week whatever to flex. I'll never say never, but that's not the intention. The intention is to do what we're doing right now.
Gotcha. To the players, talked about just the challenges and everything. It obviously it turned out going pretty well, but the challenge is going to that new offense. What are some things that you individually worked on just kind of throughout the offseason to better your craft? And we'll start down here on the right again.
The things I did to better my craft was I stayed at the practice. I did so basically we got this little hop step we gotta do. It's like a small little motion, and basically I stayed at the practice and got my footwork down with it, and really just running extra and trying to get my stance correct, trying to be as perfect as I can. Also to stop leaning, because I did a lot of leaning. When we put this new offense in, and I just been trying to work on putting my weight on my back feet so I'm not leaning, so I'm still, and basically still trying to get my stance and time it down and slow down to where my lineman can pull before I, fully burst out. So that's really the most things I've been working on in this offense.
It's like he said, he coaches and other players help me out, and
one thing that helped me was being more in the weight room, because last year there was times where I can move certain people from the spots for my slots to get in, and that was bringing my team down. So I've been working on that a lot this summer, and I'm prepared for almost anything at the moment. So, yeah.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with Davion. I mean, just off-season, just really hitting weights and getting as much protein in my body as I can to put on weight, especially with playing middle linebacker mostly this year and even subbing in for him at fullback, just being able to move guys on the defense and offensive side and just being a really hard rock for them to move.
Coach, you guys open up against Harrisburg, and then, of course, you'll see a familiar face in the next game against Palestine Wheatley. And, I know that's kind of for us to make it more about the game and all those different things. And obviously you guys, I know, are hoping to win that one this year. But that's special. Not everybody gets to play against their son or their daughter. And for volleyball, we had a girl in here that's going to play against her mom. That's a special case. So I know that was big for you and Tyler. But obviously, I know you are trying to win the game this year.
Oh, yeah. I don't know what he'll tell you, but he doesn't want to lose, and I don't want to lose. I raised him, and so he understands. He knows me better than anybody as far as competition goes. And if my wife were here, she would tell you he don't want to lose at anything. And that's the mindset. That's what I try to instill in these guys in the game of life. The challenges are coming. You want to embrace it, but you want to win. And so, it's a neat thing, and I get it from the media standpoint. Last year we probably played about the worst half of football in my coaching career, to be honest with you. Not to make excuses, they played well, but we really played poor. But we learned a lot from the game, and we took those things and improved from it. I would certainly think that we're going to play a lot better, and I think they'll play better too. They'll be a well-coached football team. He'll do things that they can do, and we'll try to do the things that we can do, and I think it'll be a good ball game.
Speaking of just games, is there any one of those? I know that we talked about that towards the back end of the season after you installed the offense, that things started to turn around. Is there any game in particular that you guys are looking at, we had this one, it just kind of got away from us, that you're looking to see again?
That game will definitely be Desark because, you know, we showed up, but we just didn't fight hard enough. You know, it was on their home field, so, you know, they kind of got the upfront on us. But I feel like we held in that first half, keeping Desark to 0 points, the fact they were averaging almost 40 that season. So I really feel like our defense came through, but then second half we kind of slowed up, which we're going to stop doing this season. And we kind of let them start scoring, and we wasn't clicking on offense, but that's going to be different this season, 100%.
It's like he said, Desark was probably one of the toughest ones, but we held them to 0 points until second half, and it just went downhill from there.
I'm also with them because Desark was also one of our hardest games. They're just one of the teams I'm mostly looking forward to play again, and just getting back on the field and being aggressive and staying mentally tough.
For me, I mean, I would like to agree with these guys, say Desark, but I honestly just want to say McCrory just because us as people who live in Cherry Valley, we know a lot of the guys from the McCrory area. I mean, most of our teammates are friends with most of the players over there, and it's really just like a big rivalry for us that we want back. I mean, I don't think I've beat them for 4 years, and I'd really just like to stick it to them one more time on my last year out.
All right, fellas. Well, we really appreciate y'all making the trip down. Thank you so much.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
guys for having
next, it's the Greenbrier Panthers, led by head coach Randy Tribble. Coach, I will pass it over to you to give your opening statement and introduce who you brought with you.
All right. Today I've got Enoch Hassan over here, our running back. And Enoch was a 2,000-yard rusher last year, and is excited about seeing what he can do his senior year. This is Jack Palmer. Jack's our quarterback. Jack started all last year and has had a great summer. And I know he feels so much more confident right now than he did at this time last year, and he's going to have a great senior year. And he's got some weapons to get the ball to. Over here is Lane Morgan. Lane started at guard last year, and he's moved out to tackle this year. He's the leader of our offensive line, and we like the way our offensive line has been coming together, working out together and everything. So we're excited about that. This is Ethan Smith. He's our safety. He played corner most of the time last year. He is our one defensive starter returning this year. So we kind of have had our hands full trying to get that taken care of. But we've made a lot of progress on defense, and he's one of our definite leaders. Defense has a lot of savvy, a lot of quickness. Is a really good football player. He also plays a slot receiver some for us, and is a good offensive player also.
Coach, the first half of the season, a bit of a roller coaster, kind of a win-loss, and then at the end, you won your last 4 games before that defensive battle with Maumelle. Just kind of talk about, some things that you took away. I know, like, you were riding high there at the end of the regular season, and then just a really tough 1-point loss in the postseason. So what was the message to the players?
Well, we had 3 1-point losses last year, so, that kind of hangs with you, a long time and leaves a little knot in your gut for a while. But we just are trying to do the things to be a little more detail-oriented and trying to emphasize finishing everything we do. And, just of course, this ball team will be totally different than the one last year, and just trying to do everything we can to bring this team together and make it the best it can be.
And for the players, we'll start on the right over here. Talking about just the Maumelle game in particular and how that ended, how hungry does that make you guys coming into 2025?
Yeah, it brings a fire to us knowing that we could have made a run. And, it's hard knowing that it was such a close game and how close we were. And, I feel like taking that into this year, it definitely leaves a chip on our shoulder, knowing that we can make another run. And, I've been playing with these guys since I started playing football, and I know what we can do. So I'm definitely excited to make some noise this year.
Yeah, definitely playing against them last year really put into perspective, what other teams can do and how we need to be able to prepare for teams like that in the future. They had a pretty good D lineman, Anthony Kennedy Jr. last year, gave us some problems, but it was good practice and that kind of thing to prepare us for anybody else we might face this year or going into playoffs.
I think it just gave us a better perspective on where we can grow and how it's more important to focus on the journey, getting better every single day than the end goal, thinking about, next game, who we got, next game we got Parkview, whatever. It's just better for us now that we know that now, and we can use it throughout this entire upcoming season.
I still think about that game a lot. There's a lot of stuff we could have been better in, and I definitely took that into the offseason, how I worked and how I was going to prepare for the next season so that next time that won't be the case. It really set a fire under me, and my teammates, and, I make sure that it really put in perspective because, just getting close enough isn't enough. And at the end of the day, we want to win. And no matter how close the loss is, if we don't win, we failed. So, I've been working every single day so that that situation won't come, and I'll be able to put me and my team in a better position to be able to win. Because I don't feel like I had the best game that game, and I've been working in the offseason a lot so that next year that won't be the case. And just how we're going into there, it does put a big hit chip on our shoulder. And we've been working every single day so that we can make sure that won't be the case this year.
And Enoch, I'll continue with you. Just, the stats in the film say you're one of the top backs in the state, regardless of classification. You got one of your offensive linemen here with you. Just talk. Any great running back is typically going to give a lot of credit to those guys. So just talk about how they help you do what you do.
Yes, sir, absolutely. They're a big help to me. They're just, we had a lot of graduating seniors last year. They were a big help to me, but I feel like this upcoming group that we're having will be just as good, and they're going to step into the shoes perfectly. I feel like these past team camps, they've been really good for them just getting into the groove, and I feel like once they're going and once they're going full speed, I don't feel like anybody will be able to stop us with the combination that we'll have. We had a couple returning starters. We had Colby Rogers. He was hurt last year, so he'll be back. That's really good for us. We got Lane. He was starting last year, so that'll be good for us. And, yeah, we got a couple young guys, but I feel like we'll be able to get it together and we'll be able to go out there and compete with just about anybody that we play against.
Coach, we'll get into your conference here in just a second, but, it's it certainly doesn't start off easy. Bo Hembry and Warren, we know what Warren has done, particularly at the wide receiver position, been one of the premier, not just programs in Class 4A of the 21st century, but really the state overall. So you'll get a really good look there to open things up.
Right. Well, we played them last year, and they had the big 6'5" receiver that's Razorback, I believe now, but they also had just had a bunch of them that looked kind of the same that could all fly. And their DBs and the receivers, I know some of them have SEC offers already, but we are looking forward to that. We get to go down there to southeast Arkansas for this one, and we know since we beat them last year, we know we're going to get their best, and they'll be more prepared for us than they were last year, and we'll prepare real hard, and we'll see what we can do.
Once again, picked by the coaches as one of the top 3 contenders in the 5A West. And the 5A West coaches that we've had this year, it's almost like you got to take your breath to talk about some of those games that had. When you think about Farmington and Morrilton, Bologna, and I guess it was Bologna and Morrilton, I think. Just some of those really close matchups, a lot of high-scoring games. So, this is obviously a league that you're very familiar with. Really, just no night off any particular Friday.
That's right, and our game. We started off the conference season last year with Morrilton, and we got beat 35-34. I believe that was the score. And and we opened with them. They're our first conference game again. They've got that quarterback back, and got good people. Then Farmington, and Farmington and Morrilton were 1 and 2 in the league last year, and they've got. Some of their big guns back, so we know it's a really good conference, and that's one of the things that has motivated our kids to work as hard as they have and to be as focused as they have all summer. But it's a really good league and really good coaches, and it's going to be a lot of fun.
Talking about the defensive side of the ball, I know you got a lot of new faces there. What have been some things that have impressed you kind of as a unit, and some names that we should watch to really be making plays Friday nights?
Well, our we did lose a lot on defense, and that has been a big focus. And our defensive coaches have done a great job. And we really feel real good about our defensive front. Ethan Quattlebaum was not a starter last year, but was in the rotation and played about as much as all the guys that were starters, and he'll be a really strong force on our D-line, and he can play defensive end, and we've been working him at nose guard. Also, Hayden Merritt's another defensive end. Fisher Tackett is will be just a sophomore, but he has proven to us in team camps that he is going to be a really good football player. But C.J. Usry is another defensive end. Jonah Klosky is another sophomore that is a nose guard. He's about 270. That's going to be a really good player, and he'll be in the mix. So those are our defensive front guys. Our linebackers, we keep moving the pieces of the puzzle, trying to get that spot, those spots figured out. We run a 3-4, so we've got 4 linebackers, but Ace Newland will definitely be a starter at one of the linebackers. He'll be a junior. Carden Blue is going to be a guy that's in the mix. Roop Adams is a sophomore that has really shown us in some team camps that he's got a chance to be a good player. He's kind of a rangy young guy, and he has worked at both inside and outside backer. Carter Shoemate's a defensive back that we've moved down to outside backer to see if we could use his skill set in a better way. Austin Martin's another guy that's in the mix in the secondary, and then Brady Wilbanks is another inside backer that's been working with the first group a lot. In the secondary, of course, we have Ethan as the leader back there, and Ethan's, as I said, has a lot of savvy. He is kind of the quarterback of the secondary, making checks to formations and that kind of stuff that is so important. At corner, we've got Brandon Jolly, who played part of the time last year, and we have a sophomore by the name of Tyree Kemp that's had a real good summer, and both of those guys are kind of leading the race at cornerback. Then at safety, you've got Ethan, and behind him is Ben Nixon, and then we've got two guys working at the other safety. That's Ethan Rhodes and Cole Mitchell. So we have really liked the progress of our defense, and we think our defensive front is going to be really good. And there's some talent in there in that linebacker group, and we're getting it figured out. But it'll be a work in progress as we get started. And same thing at the other safety, from Ethan. We're alternating guys, trying to let the cream rise to the top, and it's been a good summer. We've made a lot of progress. We still got work to do, but we like the way they're flying around and playing ball.
And as we wrap up here, guys, as we talked about at the top there, you had a really good run, particularly in the back half of the regular season on that 4-game win streak. But, maybe as far as like the front part of the schedule, non-conference or conference, whatever, is there one or two of those games that you're really excited to get another shot at this year?
Definitely that Morrilton game, because we played them close last year. We got stopped on 4th down, like less than a yard short, and so we're coming to get Morrilton, and that's one that really wanting to get them back.
We definitely are coming from Morrilton. It would be nice to be able to play them at home, get another shot at them, because, they played us really close. 3-point game, I personally believe that we should have got a fair shot, but this year we're going to make sure it's not so close so that there won't be any things that will be up to the refs. So.
Yeah, I'm most definitely ready to go against Morrilton again, but I'm also excited to play Farmington again because in that game, our left tackle suffered an injury, which really threw a wrench in our game plan that game. So I really think this year we can come back and give it our best shot against Farmington.
Yeah, those two teams that they've been talking about, Farmington and Morrilton, they're most likely going to be top 2 best teams in our conference, and the West at least. And to be the best, you got to beat the best. And I think with all the work we've been putting in the off season, that we'll be ready to play them, and we'll make it a lot better than it was last year, even though it was a close game.
All right, well, Coach, fellas, really appreciate you coming over.
All right, thank you guys for having us.
We snap a picture real fast.
I couldn't see the word injury.
Y'all can just stand up.
I couldn't get the word out.
At least